Homecoming at Case Field has arrived for Washington football here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, powered by Washington County Hospital and Clinics. This is the N.C. Williams Agency of Farm Bureau Financial Services pregame show as Washington is getting set for a homecoming matchup against another traditional SEC foe, another district matchup against Fairfield. As we welcome you inside the broadcast setup, Jack Knowlton, along with my partner, Zeph Walker-L. Zeph, setting the stage a little bit, Washington saw a 14-game winning streak against Mount Pleasant snapped last week. They went down for the Panthers homecoming and lost to lose their first game in district play. They now play another traditional SEC rival tonight in the Fairfield Trojans, who themselves come in with something to prove. They were flat out smoked 77-0. They lost to Solon in their first district game at home, which kind of brings a bit of a critical flashpoint in both of these two teams' seasons. Should be a really exciting one. And of course, you add the emotionality and the excitement of Washington's homecoming. When you go to the field, these are two teams who match up in a couple of interesting ways. Fairfield comes in, they have one of the best rushing attacks in all of Class 3, 1,339 yards, 16 touchdowns on the ground for the Trojans. Those are both top 5 numbers. They'll face a Washington team that has over 260 tackles, including about 45 for loss. Those are also top 5 marks in Class 3. What do you think of that matchup when you hear those numbers, when you think of what we're going to see tonight as Washington's defensive line clashes with this really good Fairfield rushing attack?
You know, one thing that I've learned about Washington's defense is that they always show up. They're always going to play. You know, if the offense lacks a little bit, the defense is going to pick up where that lack is. And we've got to acknowledge the fact that we really do get back there to these quarterbacks. You know, no one's safe. So if you're going to keep that ball on the ground, Washington's going to pick up on that very soon, like quickly. And Fairfield just had to adjust.
Yeah, both of these, you mentioned the quarterbacks, both of these quarterbacks can certainly run it on the ground. Voss Richardson of Fairfield is part of that. It ends up being a 4-man backfield. You're going to see it tonight with their T formation and 3 running backs. Names to watch: Zandrick Allison, their leading rusher, has over 400 yards on the season. Brady Weigel's another name. Spencer McCready is very good for Fairfield. But Zeph, you flip the script a little bit. You know, Washington, we've seen so much good from Cale Williams, particularly on the ground. He's leading this Washington team with 573 yards and 10 touchdowns, both very good marks. Yeah. But the Demons this season have thrown 7 interceptions. That is up there in the upper echelons in terms of turnovers in all of Class 3. Conversely, Fairfield, with including that 77-0 loss to Solon, has not held teams well against teams defensively. They're allowing an average of about 41 points per game. Yeah. So another class. Your thoughts on that? Washington can't really afford to turn the ball over, but a Fairfield team that has to work to get a takeaway and to get stops, otherwise they'll get burned by this Demon offense.
Well, remember, this is Washington's homecoming, so they're playing for their people tonight. As well as the last game they were here, it was almost a blowout in the same way, you know? So if I'm Washington, I would not waver. You know, don't look at the stats. Don't allow the stats to dictate the game. Go out there, play for your fans, play for your people, defend home field as you've always done.
Yeah, defending the case has been one of the mantras of this Washington team. We've seen 2 wins from them in Burlington and Oskaloosa. And now go back to that Burlington game as well, where you had a good running back coming into that one. Washington was able to bottle them up. It's more of a by-committee thing for this Fairfield team that Washington is going to see tonight. So it will be a really, really interesting challenge. Another note, too, in terms of a player to spotlight in this pregame show for Washington. We talk about Cale Williams through the ground. Through the air, Zeph, he's found a little bit of a weapon in junior Nick Stone.
Yeah.
169 yards and a score in his last 2 games. Stone has been quality and is someone to probably watch tonight for Washington.
You know, with Washington always keeping the ball on the ground, being able to switch it up a little bit, get it in the air, and hit Nick Stone, it almost brings that unorthodox nature. It's like you want to look at what Washington does best, right? But then don't forget that they will throw the ball. And if they have to throw the ball, Nick Stone's going to catch it. It's just that simple.
Yeah, he has been really good as a receiver. We'll see if we potentially see many trick plays, or any trick plays, from Washington today. You had the Stone flip, the throw to Williams. That was just incomplete the last time we were here in that game against Oskaloosa. But Washington Washington and Fairfield should be up for an exciting one. Really intriguing. This Fairfield team with a ton to prove. I think better than their 1-4 record would suggest so far this year, and that's something that certainly Zeph the Demons can't overlook.
Yeah, like I said, Washington just has to stick to what works. What works for them is what's going to get them over the hump this game. And Fairfield, if they allow Washington to get going, they're not going to stop. We saw them blow out Oskaloosa. You know, it started off a slow game, a lot of penalties here and there, but Washington found their footing. And they've got the advantage. They got the momentum. They've got the energy here tonight.
Yeah, defensively, too, some players to spotlight in Fairfield. It's two of the running backs. They star on the defensive end as well. Ethan Biscard, 30.5 tackles. Brady Weigel has around 12.5. Those will be two guys to keep an eye on for the Trojans defensively because, of course, if they can force a few takeaways, if they can put some footballs on the ground, that will be a certain flip for the Demons. Fairfield under coach Matt Jones in his second season, 3-11 overall in his tenure, coming up against another coach in his second season in Kelly Williams for Washington. Williams, of course, a long tenured part of this Demons football program, has been on staff for over a decade, a Washington native himself,
yes.
Guy who played for this team. He'll be very amped up to win this homecoming game for the Demons. Zeph, any additional thoughts? Things you're considering for this game, especially considering the energy, you can feel it. These fans are on their feet. We hear the band right now. But, what do you make of the atmosphere, and how does Washington keep their composure through it, but at the same time use it as maybe more uplifting or trying to uplift themselves to a win here today?
Washington's defense is just as good, if not better, than their offensive line. And when it comes down to their number one guy, Cale Williams, he can get on that defensive end and he can pick up 3 interceptions just like he did last game. So, if anything, they want to be patient. They want to stay composed. Watch for Fairfield to throw something unorthodox at them, and then right there, when they got them in their grasp, take home the W.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, the ultimate key is the limitation of takeaways. Fairfield doesn't have a ton of them on the season, but they do have a 97-yard pick six that their quarterback, Voss Richardson, actually ran back in their lone win of the season against Oskaloosa. So some exciting stuff coming up. Washington, of course, as well. We mentioned it's homecoming. The Demons, they celebrated their homecoming game, or their homecoming earlier today. They had a parade through the streets of downtown Washington, through the square. The homecoming court was presented across at the stage at the end of the parade. Of course, homecoming king and queen being honored. Homecoming queen Ira Stahl. The homecoming king this year was Carson Ryan, who was named the king, tragically passed away. Ryan did over the weekend in a hunting accident. It was obviously very devastating news for the community of Washington, for this Washington program. We're joined right now, too, by John Woodward, who, John, I know you have a lot on this, including some comments from the players and some thoughts from yourself as well. As we'd like to hear those as we pause for the national anthem briefly.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, Jack. It's awesome to be here, and so many things to say. First of all, so much gratitude for the community. You'll see tonight, probably on camera, there's been a lot of just things that are happening. You probably see on the camera, even view right now, SPP. I'm just going to go off the script here. If you want to pan out to it right in front of you there's the angel wings that you can see right there on the front of the field in front of the team. The 50-yard line has been turned into the 80-yard line to represent Carson Ryan and his involvement with this community. And that's the thing that I don't think can be underscored enough. Begin to just want to thank our community itself, coming together. You'll see the students. You'll see there was over 1,200 of these shirts that were made with the angel wings, the number 80 across the chest, and you see that everywhere through our community. Custom impressions. These guys worked till 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 nights in a row, just to bring these to the community. I know for a fact they sold them with basically no profit whatsoever. I mean, the community has just rallied behind this. But Carson Ryan, the person, Carson Ryan, the individual, is who I want to highlight just for a few minutes. I had a chance to sit down and talk with some people that knew him, and I'm a friend of his mom as well, Heidi, and just the family. And there was several things that people were talking about him. One, I'm just going to read some quotes from his teammates, Jack, if I can, here for a second. Cole Vetter said Carson always had the best energy, and he was everyone's hype man. Aiden Smith said Carson Ryan was one of the most genuine, kind people that I've ever got a chance to meet. Kane Griner said Carson would always include everyone, no matter what, and made everyone feel welcome. Carson Brown, CD1, which is what everybody calls him, and tonight we're adorning these hats and things in his memory. CD1 is the nickname that you'll hear often referred to him. And Carson said a couple of things. He said CD1 has this positive aura around him at all times. If he ever had a bad day, nobody ever knew it. He could make me laugh at any point. There was, he was super down to earth and genuine. And he also says CD1 had the light of Jesus shining through him always. Grant Whistler, Carson was kind to everyone. Kay Williams, he was the realest guy I knew, genuine, kind. Rudy Wolf, Carson could talk to anything, about anyone. Gatlin Nash said he was the most respectful and understanding person you would ever meet. He always knew how to have a good time and welcomed everyone. And Drew Conrad, last one I would say, with him playing with him on the basketball team, he said CD1 had a pure heart. He cared about everyone. He never held a grudge. He saw everyone for who they were through the eyes of Jesus. Again, these are quotes to his teammates. And his last phrase was "Long live CD1." And the final thing I'll talk about, I had a chance to spend some time with Coach Kelly this week, and he highlighted his, all the things that these guys had talked about, his competitive drive, how he never had a bad day, how he lifted the spirit of the room, how he saw him grow as an athlete, not only in sports but as a man. And then he said something to me, Jack, that I don't think you could pay a higher compliment to somebody as we watch the captains walk out here now as they're carrying his jersey to the center of the field, and you hear the crowd respond to that.
Excellent gesture.
Absolutely. And Fairfield, I just want to stop for saying, too, and compliment Fairfield, because at the end of the night, there's going to be a moment of silence, and I know their team has come together with some things. But Coach Kelly said to me, Jack, he said, he has a daughter. I think she might be, junior high, early high school age. And he said, someday, when my daughter brings a young man home to me, I want him to have the characteristics of this young man. Which, as a father myself, that is the most powerful thing you could really say about a young man. And I talked to another individual named Ryan Harris, who was his employer for 3.5 years, and he gave me a very lengthy here where he talked about how he was always hustling, and he never had to be on him for anything. And his attributes when he was hired was, it says, hey, what do you want to be involved with? He says, well, what sports do you want to work with? And without skipping a beat, he said, Carson said, whatever you want me to do, just put me down and do it. He went on to talk about how he said whenever he was there, he was always hustling. He was one of the staff members that was he wasn't there, but the kids would always ask where he was if he wasn't there. I've spoken to dozens of people in the community this week, and they just talked about, he coached my kid here, he reffed my kids a game here, he did this, he did that. And I think what cannot be missed in this entire thing is how you live your life right on earth, because we never know when it's going to be taken from us. How have you lived your life? It's safe to say that, if you lived your life like this young man, that you truly made an impact around you. And there are school districts all over the place that don't just know what happened, but they know his name, they know who he is, they know his impact on his community. And again, if you were I'm sure tonight you'll see it with the cameras and the broadcast, it'll sweep through and you'll see just the outpouring of love for this young man, for his mother, right, for the family and friends that are surrounding her even tonight. And so we think of her, our thoughts and our prayers certainly go out to her. So I can tell you, as a member of this community since I was a little kid, and seeing this young man grow up the last several years. I reffed his ball games. I spent some time talking with him. He had interest in becoming a ref himself, which is something I do, and just a class young man. And so thanks for just letting us talk a few minutes about him and highlight what those that were closest to him would even talked about. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear, especially from his teammates and his coach and all the people, and it's been tremendous to see the community come together and support him. So thank you, John, and obviously Washington playing with some heavy hearts and with some emotion tonight.
They are.
But the Demons, nevertheless, going to go for the win for CD1 and go against Fairfield. Yeah.
And I wanted to add this, at the end. Coach Kelly asked the mom, he said, what is this deal that you want? She said, I want you guys to play. I think you would be honoring him. And as a community, as a school and a team, we are closer as a result of this. So I know we're getting ready to kick off here, so forgive us for running past the commercial break. So here we are.
We will get the kickoff underway indeed, and just a powerful, powerful message and feeling of connectivity across the Washington community. And the Demons, like John said, going to play for CD1 tonight. They receive the opening kickoff. Often picked up right at the 20. That was Carson Brown, who is knocked down around the 23-24 yard line. So the Demons will take the field for their first drive of the football game. Should be an exciting one, going for their third win of the season. Would improve to 500 with it. Would stay undefeated at home, notably, as well. That has been a mantra that we've heard from Coach Kelly Williams over and over, is protecting the case, that being Case Field. Cale Williams looking to lead Washington on a successful first drive and do just that.
First and 10 Washington, Cale Williams in the pistol. Aiden Griner right behind him.
Pistol formation for the Demons. Refs
Right in the center of the field.
checking something over.
I think I think there's a moment here just to recognize.
Yep, took the delay of game. Washington didn't see the clock ticking down, so a very nice gesture. Demons continuing to pay tribute to Carson. It's just incredibly impressive to see.
Absolutely.
Williams, first snap between these two traditional SEC powers, hands it off to Griner, who rumbles forward, carries the pile for about 4.
I think as we continue this theme, I think it just, I think back to my own, playing days at different areas, and I think in a case like this, the players want to play, right? They want to honor their teammate. They want to use all this energy and emotions and everything they've had building for so long to finally come together in a constructive way, and it's beautiful just to see both communities supporting this tonight.
Pistol formation again for Washington. Williams decides to keep it, bounces to the outside, eludes one man, and picks up a couple. It'll be close to the sticks.
So he almost looked like when he pulled the corner there, that he might have pulled up and tried to pitch it over the top to Roberts, who was coming out of the flat there, but ended up keeping himself, putting his shoulder down. I tell you, he knows how to finish runs. I mean, he doesn't just, I'm just going to grace. I mean, he's going to put his shoulder down, and there's going to be some force met if you come to tackle Cale Williams.
We've heard from Kelly Williams that they've been trying to improve his ability to just read defenses, whether it's in those option situations or when dropping back to pass. We'll see a lot of designed rollouts to his right, where 3 receivers are currently set up, and he did end up getting the first down on that last play, so moving the chains for Washington. And cutting upfield, breaking a couple of tackles is Griner, and he'll pick up another first down for Washington, gain of 11 on that run. Caden Griner, I believe listed as a receiver, but has been heavily involved as a running back on this team this season. That'll bring him over 100 yards on the year for the senior back, or I guess senior receiver if we're going official.
Absolutely. He knew both, yeah. But you're right, he has spent a lot of time in the backfield this year.
Positions somewhat flexible for both of these teams. We'll see it for Fairfield's offense as well. Williams give instructions in the pistol again. And he'll hand it off to Grant Whistler. Cutting upfield, flag comes in. Whistler's going to pick up the first down for now. Trundles for about 15. Another big run for Washington. We'll check the flag, and it's coming back.
Yes, it looks like he's going to be holding there in the interior of the line.
Tackled on the play by number 32, Tucker Robertson.
So holding on the Demons will negate that run. But, John, the Demons running well to start out this first quarter.
It's a smart play, by Nick Williams and Kelly, just to come out, and there's a lot of nerves, right? There's a lot of emotions, everything's right. And so go to what? Your bread and butter. What's actually worked for you, this season, and you're just trying to just get the ball off, get that first contact, get those first hits in, and take some of that angst out, if you will.
trying to settle into the game indeed. And this is a team that had one of the more impressive performances against Burlington when they were forced into a pretty one-dimensional flow going on the ground. We're able to beat the Greyhounds this time. I believe that was Griner on the carry, going to rumble forward for a couple yards. Whistler, actually, again, Grant Whistler, 72 yards and a touchdown on the ground coming into tonight.
And you're waiting for, as I've watched him over this season, Jack, it's almost just like this. It's like a boxing match, right? It's just a simple left jab, left jab, left jab with these interior runs into the line, and you're waiting for that right cross of a reverse or something that opens up, maybe takes the top off the defense a little bit, soften them up a little bit, just pound them a little bit.
2nd and 18 after that penalty. This time Williams going to keep it, finds a hole. Williams bounces to the outside. Cale Williams all the way, still inbounds and gets to the 7. And there on cue, John, is the big play.
And that's all the eyes of Cale Williams. That's an RPO. It's a run-pass option, right? He has the ability to decide, am I going to distribute the ball and hand it off here, or am I going to take it myself? The defense bit down like a horse on a bit right there on top of that, and then he took it the other direction.
51-yard dash for Cale Williams. And how many times have we seen this Washington offensive line open up a hole that he's just able to glide through? He's in the shotgun now.
See these tight trips out to the right. You wonder what's going on there.
Handoff is to Clayton Evans. Tries to bounce to the outside. Is wrapped up immediately, and
he's still
fighting for some yards, but going to end up picking up a few after that play. Looked like it was initially going to be blown up there by Fairfield. Zandrick Allison, whose name we're going to call a lot on offense tonight, was the first to him.
And they were really spread out on all the way. That tight trips was together, but they were way out towards the end. So you were hoping to maybe pull a little bit more attention, but Fairfield was not to be fooled on that, and then came across that strong side.
Fairfield, 6-yard line.
A rotation in that stable. 14 carries, 99 yards this season.
So 2nd and goal.
Williams, who's in the shotgun.
Williams again in the shotgun. Evans to his left.
Off the left of the line of scrimmage.
Williams, keeper all the way. Williams ducks past a tackler and gets 6 for the Demons. And pretty fitting, John, rather, that Williams was able to finish that drive after the 51-yard gain.
Absolutely, and it comes down to once you get in space. I was watching Thursday Night Football last night, and Christian McCaffrey, he's like this. As you get him in space down, or you get him in space the open field, he's great. But then also, if you get him in the phone booth, he's also equally as great because he's so shifty, he reads the lanes well. And that's what we're seeing out there with Cale Williams right now.
We've seen this a couple of times. They are going to go for 2. Williams chucks it over to the outside. Screen to Roberts. And did he get there? He did. So Liam Roberts picks up the 2-point conversion. We've had 3 of those on the season for Washington coming in. They get a 4th courtesy of Leland Roberts. We'll send it to a quick break. We'll come back with the Fairfield Trojans opening drive here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your health care.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections. Like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
And we're back here at Case Field with Washington Demon football for homecoming game. Washington leads 7-0 with a rushing touchdown by Cale Williams, leading to a 2-point conversion. Washington with the kickoff here, and it's taken down on his own 30th yard line.
I say you're closer to the 40 right there, yeah.
40. I can't see that white lines painted.
Well, the cool thing about tonight is the 50-yard line has been turned into the 80-yard line in honor of Carson. So now when you look for those wings in orange, take that as the 50, and we just go down and right there, just short of the 40-yard line.
Yes, indeed.
first and 10 for Fairfield from their own 39-yard line.
Fairfield lining up with that T formation there. Handoff.
First down, this is Brady Weigel on the run across the 4.
Brady Weigel on the run. Gained about 2 yards there, maybe. Second down. Looking at second and about 7? Yeah. So 3 yards on that carry from Brady Weigel.
Brady Weigel on the carry for Fairfield.
They love that T formation there. Here from Fairfield. Another handoff to Brady.
This is Weigel again. It's going to be stacked.
He stopped, and it looks like a tackle for a loss.
So you got that T formation. You think about old school Nebraska football from way back in the day.
Yes.
Tom Osborne, right? And some of those guys that what they ran to great efficiency. I had a chance last year to run into Eric Crouch at a golf tournament of all places, and drove around with him for the whole day. And it was just cool to hear some of the stories and everything. And the guy's like our height, Seth. I mean, he's not even big. It was like, wow, what you did as a Heisman Trophy winner all those years ago in that formation, and it was pretty incredible. Sorry.
No.
Just all over the place.
I wouldn't say I'm not the tallest guy, but we got another handoff there to Weigel. Excuse me, Zandrick Allison there. The junior gains a first down there.
As he's dragging tacklers with him.
Allison on the carry. Tackled on the play by Clayton Evans.
First down on the 51-yard line there. Now we're on the opposite end.
I was going to say, did you say the
49? I know.
That's awesome. I told somebody this guy's like 6'12". You know, I mean, it's pretty great.
They're all numbers, right? Handoff there. Another one to Zandrick. And he's breaking away on that left side. And he's almost, he stopped there. Flag on the field.
Number 24, Zandrick Allison on the carry, tackled by Memphis.
We're going to wait for the official call there.
Maybe a face mask. Roberts was trying to bring him down.
He was trying.
I think Allison's a bigger back. Roberts has got to do a better job of going low there.
You know, at this point, you needed to get the stop somehow, or you're going to give them a touchdown. They don't get a touchdown, but they're going to get those extra yards, which are going to put them in a better position offensively.
So the way Allison is just put together, I almost think because he was trying to take him higher on his shoulder pads. I think he got him. He reached up and grabbed on where he wasn't supposed to. But yeah, maybe take him a little bit lower and drive him out of bounds.
Inside the Farm Bureau Financial Services, the NC Williams Agency.
First and goal there on Washington's red zone.
From the 7, Ross Richardson under center. From the Demon defense.
T formation. Handoff there.
Allison going.
And he stopped.
Say Allison again on the carry.
Maybe a gain of a 1 there. He didn't really go anywhere, but I think he got 1 yard. They are loving the ground game there.
I was going to say, it's both sides of the ball tonight. I mean, this is absolute just smash mouth football.
I guess we're going to wait to see who's going to put the ball in the air first.
Yep.
Washington trying to turn away Fairfield.
Second and goal from the 6.
Away from that. Second down goal from the 6. Richardson.
Handoff. And he's stopped. And he's brought back. A tackle for loss.
Stacked up.
Michael was down.
Richardson on the carry.
Fairfield's confused as to why.
Clayton Evans there. Get that tackle for loss. Bringing the Trojans back about 4 yards there.
And this is where you're just finding out, scheme is important, but when you're down there at the end, I mean, it's a hat on a hat. It's a man on a man.
Yes.
Whose line is going to knock the you-know-what out of the other one and dominate the line of scrimmage. And right now, this first 2 plays, Washington's done a good job. We'll see what comes up here.
You know, we can say this about Washington. They have really good red zone defense. And that game, I believe, against Oskaloosa, they stopped them right in the red zone. Did not allow them to score. So let's see if they have something the same here against the Trojans. Staying in that T formation. Handoff. Oh, and he's broken through the middle and a touchdown there. Brady Weigel, the sophomore, puts the first 6 points up on the board for the Trojans.
Really good patience by him. He had 2 nice cutbacks there. We followed his blockers. He understood, here's my hole. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cut again. Really nice job of him by reading reading what was given to him by the defense and capitalizing.
Again, we got to go back to that T formation that the Trojans are putting on the defense of Washington, that they aren't able to know who's going to get the ball next. They're keeping everybody fresh. Those legs are fresh. Looks like they're going to go for 2 points to try to match Washington, who's leading 8-6 right now. Oh, and he kept it. Oh, and he didn't get it. We got a flag on the play. Voss Richardson kept the ball out of the T formation.
Kind of holding the offense declined.
Declined, and we are 8-6 here in the first quarter, live on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. We'll be right back.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience. The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
And we are back here at Case Field with Washington Demon football. The Trojans attempted to go for 2 points to try to match Washington as they lead 8-6, but they were unsuccessful as Voss Richardson kept the ball in the T formation for the first time this game. Didn't work out in his favor. Now they're going to kick off the ball to the Washington offense.
And if you're Washington's defense, you got to take at least a tiny victory, even though you obviously gave up the long run, you committed the penalty, eventually give up the touchdown. You were able to kind of silence that offense for a couple plays and then stand up the 2-point conversion. So even though it's a score, you're still walking ahead with the lead. And then if you can score here and punch it up, you're going up to a 2-score game.
They are. Number 8 there on the return for Washington.
32. Offensive series almost tied it up, but they scored on a 6th play.
As they're on their own side of the field, the 32-yard line there. First down, 37-yard line. Washington offense looking to bring the same energy they had in that first drive, which led to a touchdown from Cale Williams. One man in the backfield with Cale Williams. Fake the handoff in the pass. It's a screen. And he's on the sideline. And he's still going. And he's going. And he's stopped on the other side of the field.
This is Liam Roberts. So
Liam Roberts.
Great. So again, we keep talking about patience. Little screen pass out to the left side, little wide receiver screen, little bubble screen. Come up the sideline, followed his blockers very well. He acted like he was going to cut to the inside. The defender bit. He broke it back to the outside, which was another about 10 to 15 yards there of a gain. So excellent job of running after the catch there by Roberts.
Big gain there from Liam Roberts. We asked to see who we're going to throw the ball first, and it looks like Washington wanted to get on the board, switch things up a little bit.
They did go to him on that similar play, really a similar play, a little tighter on the 2-point conversion on the touchdown. But
yes, indeed. Williams looks like he's going to keep it. He's still in the good pass. Oh, and it popped out.
We do have a flag far side of the field. Yeah, but looks like we got an ineligible man downfield on the Demons. So I'll take him back just a little bit.
It was a good look there from Cale Williams.
I'd say he had all the time in the world rolling out there to the right, which is great, because earlier in the year we were watching him run for his life on a few different occasions. But I think they're just a little too much time, and one of those linemen leaked downfield just a little bit too far, and that's the penalty.
It looked as though Cale Williams wanted to keep the ball and run away with it, but he saw that defense coming at him.
And honestly, that's great maturity because, again, he is certainly, obviously, as we see, a great talented runner of the football. And I agree with you. He had that corner if he wanted it, but he chose the better play. Just unfortunately didn't work out.
4 downs like
Washington with one man back with Cale Williams. Got a man in motion. Fakes the handoff. Cale Williams goes straight down the middle.
he have a burst.
And he's not going down.
Good stance. Inside the 25 to the 24.
Gain of 5 yards there for Cale Williams and the Washington Demons.
Number 60.
Second down and 8.
And number 75. Number 75 is Christian Rasmussen.
And actually spot the ball at the 25 on the near side left half. Washington.
2nd and 9 here for the Washington Demons.
Yeah, I can't say enough Zeb, about the coaching staff and the teachers in the schools and everything that were really just strengthening these kids all week. Washington has come out tonight and they have been ready to play. They're ready to go, and that's such a testament to them, their character, their coaches, and everybody around them.
They're fighting for those extra yards for sure.
Nick Stone is in
Another handoff.
handed off to Whistler. A little bit of a dip.
And Whistler on the carry
And he's
there.
still not going down.
Whistler thrown to the ground.
These Demons are not, they did not come to play for fun. They are standing strong on the field. We got Nick Stone, who came in for a play there, QB.
Almost in a little wildcat formation.
Just to give Cale Williams a quick breather as he returns to the field. Gain of about 3. We're 3rd and 6 with Washington Demon football.
Back in at quarterback. Here on this 3rd down and 6. From the 22, he's in the gun. It is Whistler to his right. He's going to hand it off.
And Cale Williams takes the handoff. And he's still going.
Cale Williams on the carry.
So he's picking it up.
Brought down by number 4.
First down, Washington Demons.
And again, there's several weapons that they're looking at. So again, he had Roberts coming in motion, and again, the Fairfield defense had to honor that, right? Just that little window where he's freezing the defense with that fake handoff, and then able to just kick it into overdrive and get to the corner. 3rd and 6, running for us. It's a good pickup.
Clock at 2:55 and counting 8.
1st and 10 for the Demons.
They're looking for scores on back-to-back.
They are in scoring range.
Williams is in the shotgun with Grant Whistler to his right.
Cale Williams with one man back. Handoff to Grant Whistler.
Right up the middle.
And he's pushed forward for
Stopped. Hit first and about
a gain of about 2.
Grant Whistler on the carry, tackled by Tucker Robertson, also on the tackle number 60 for Fairfield.
2nd down Demons.
I'm reminded of the famous football movie. Remember the Titans, where he says, "I got 6 plays, split veers, like Novocaine. Just give it time. It works every time." That's Denzel Washington's famous quote. And I look at this Demons offense, and again, I see a lot of Novocaine-like tendencies. We're just going to go to the same. We're just going to keep hitting you in that same spot, and eventually you're going to go numb, and we're going to do what we want to do.
Washington Demons still leading in this game 8-6 as they're looking to pick up 6 more here. Gets the handoff there. Oh, and the spin move from Clayton Evans, but he's taken down. Not after a gain of 3 there, I want to say.
Able to turn something, really able to turn nothing into something. He was kind of dead to rights in the backfield, and that spin move allowed him to shake out of it, move forward.
The Demons are not afraid to kick that 3 if they need to. That'll keep them in the lead.
From the 10-yard line.
And
3rd and 6.
I don't know if we have a shot, but if you could see this crowd here tonight, it's just a beautiful thing. It is standing room only, even around this side of the track, more so than usual. Just a beautiful sight tonight.
That's the power of homecoming as the Demons a handoff there. And Cale Williams keeps it with spins off the block. And he's going straight down the middle. He's fighting.
He picked up the first down.
Yep.
Tackled by number 3.
Cale Williams again.
I would not be surprised to see them go back to that same play either right away or if they don't get it on this one, the next play, because Williams has kept it the last 3 times on that fake. And so now you're waiting for Williams to bite on that. And I'm sure that's what he's looking for as well. So don't be surprised they keep going to that motion fake like that and then eventually just give it to whether it's Evans coming through, if it could be Griner coming through, it could be Roberts, any one of those 3. But
I don't think they're afraid to go back to it. Nope. Cale's keeping his composure and he's pushing straight through. He's not allowing any of those blocks to actually throw him off his game, mess up his footing. He's pushing through. The blockers are almost going to push him to the touchdown.
That measurement, just by the nose of the football, he picked up that first down.
That's funny they had to measure it. We already knew what it was.
I mean, by the spot, by the end, it was like, hey, this is a first, but what do we know? It's fine.
Right.
but you're talking, just come out of the huddle here. One of the things that's been impressive to see even this week, and again, this should be a theme of the night. Cale Williams is certainly the unequivocated leader on the football field, but watching him individual and some other things that took place this week in a public setting, watching him lead his team, set an example, it was really, and him and so many others, Carson Brown, and I can name a whole bunch of different guys in this team that really stepped up and have been leaders on and off the field this week.
I'd say watch for Caden Griner here on this play, as he could be potentially getting that fake handoff.
High snap.
And he gets it, and he's pushing through.
Touchdown.
And a touchdown for Caden Griner.
Williams held on a long time.
He did.
I mean, a long time.
He did.
I finally let it go.
I didn't want to say it too soon, but I saw them talking a little bit, whispering something in his ear as they left the huddle. And I was like, yeah, just look out for Caden Griner here as he picks up the 6 points. Washington lead 14-6. Let's see if they're going to go for another 2-point conversion or just get the point.
So you're wondering here, what's the thought by the end? Now you got that 2 point up. Now are you looking to, is this blood in the water, or is it now that we might go to and we got a flag here? I don't know what are we calling here, man?
For an extended period of time before he pulls it out.
He said a false start. I'm not sure that they literally do that every single extra point, so I'm not sure what the flag exactly caused it, if you will.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That can only count if maybe the center moved the ball, right? There's potential could happen there.
Yeah, that's something we can't see. We don't have that Hawkeye tech here, so nonetheless, looks like Washington is just going to pick up that extra point.
Preventing pass.
Kicker Braden Tappan here to pick up that extra point for the Demons. And it's good. Washington Demons lead 15-6 as we are on the last minute of the first quarter. We'll be right back live here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kielder my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to professional pro teams is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you.
And we're back for the homecoming game for the Washington Demons as they lead 15-6 over the Fairfield Trojans. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. That last touchdown was from Caden Griner right in the red zone. Washington here to kick off. Let's see how the Trojans were ready to respond to that ground game. And it's off. Oh, and it's bumped off his leg, and he kept it. He didn't go down. And he's running through. Got a bit of a break there, but tackled him down.
Right there, about 35,
35-yard line.
And you wonder sometimes on those, maybe a bobbled kickoff, these sometimes there's just a little bit of a stutter, and it can go one of two ways. You can either be buried by the defense, or sometimes it almost jostles the kick coverage, and you can break free in a little bit.
Yeah. It looked as though the intention was to probably take it down and start their offense from that side of the field, but once it hit, he was like, okay, I got to go with it.
Sure.
So got a stoppage of play here from the
timeout is called by Washington.
Washington called a timeout here. Coach probably saw something he didn't like or wants to sub out some players. We'll be right back here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
And we're back here at Case Field. Quick timeout break there from the Washington Demons. Fairfield taking the ball 1st and 10 on their 35-yard line. Remaining in the T formation. I don't think they're going to come out of that. The handoff and the fake. Oh.
So Bisgard there on the carry, and then it looked like Evans went on the tackle number 6. Eventually,
gain of about 6 there.
There is a lot of window dressing, right? There's a lot of eye candy. What's happening back there in the backfield?
Yes.
But sooner or later, if you keep your guys, you stay in your lanes, you stay composed. My friend Mitch King, who played football for Iowa years ago, used to talk about their defensive coordinators. Violent hands. So violent hands makes a difference.
Why did I know the name Mitch King?
Defensive lineman of the year 08-09 in the Big Ten.
Is he a realtor now?
He works with Farm Bureau Financial Services here.
Okay, never mind.
No,
I know another Mitch King that is a realtor in Iowa City.
Okay,
that's
so
crazy.
He does some property management up there with some companies too as well. So
KMB Management.
Yep, that is Mitch.
That was my.
That
was my original landlord.
Mitch, when you see this later, we're giving you a shout out. No, Mitch is awesome.
Mitch is a cool guy. I met him first apartment ever here in Iowa City. There in Iowa City. We're here in Washington at Case Field.
That is wild.
I'm
gonna text him on the break and be like, hey. No, he talked about it because he was a bit of an undersized as a defensive tackle, and he just said, hey, the thing that I learned the most, that helped me the most, because I wasn't going to necessarily overwhelm somebody with my body weight, he said it was violent hands. He said, and if you can win the battle of the hands initially up front, he's like, you win the matchup there at the line and at the point of contact. And it's, if you go back and watch some highlights, it was a madman, right? And so you kind of want your defensive linemen, your linebackers, your edge rushers to adopt that same philosophy.
Yes, indeed. As we're going to kick off the second quarter here at Case Field for the homecoming game for the Washington Demons. Still on 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 4. They gained 6 yards on their first drive as they're going to swap sides of the field. Let's hope we don't say the 51-yard line this time.
They're about the 69-yard line there.
Handoff there to Zandrick Allison. Still short of that first down. Gained 3 on that carry. 3rd and 1. That Washington defense is not allowing them to get an easy step over that 1st-yard line. First down.
I say, except for that one long play there in the first quarter, they've been able to mitigate that damage at the line of scrimmage, even with this just absolutely compact Humvee that is the T formation of the Fairfield offense.
And it's a pitch off to Zandrick Allison, who does indeed pick up the first down here for the Trojans. It's going to be their longest drive of the game so far, as both teams kicked off the game with a lot of energy, pushing the ball down, keeping it on the ground.
47-yard line.
And this is really, this is where the pride of the big guys up front comes into play. This is like the calling card, the badge of honor, if you will. Like, hey, look, you know what we're going to do. We have no wide receivers out on the edge of the field. We are going to pound the ball. It's just a matter of, can you get through?
That is a great analysis, because the stoppage of play again here from the refs.
Looked like one of those guards moved up, but he's got offsides, I think.
The camera that's right in front of me blocked that flag. I was like, what is he running on the field for?
Yeah, I'm like, how is he stopping without throwing a flag? But yep, we've got offsides on the defense.
Gonna get it. Automatic first down here. 1st and 5. As they cross the 50th-yard line. Washington Demons do not want to give the Trojans any chance to come down the field off a lot of penalties, as they saw a lot of that in their last game here at home. Handoff there. Oh, and he keeps the ball in the first pass of the night, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver there was number 2 Chase Countryman.
So I think he may have. I don't think that's how he normally throws the football, if I was to guess, because he short-armed the heck out of that. I mean, it was just almost like a little pitch. Came up about 7-8 yards short of the receiver. I would imagine the coach is probably looking for a little more extension on that throw. But yeah, certainly all night long you're running, and they come up with a pass. So
2nd down and 5 here on Washington's 48-yard line.
And Washington very fortunate because that receiver was wide open.
And the pitch goes to Countryman. Actually, that was Ethan Bisgard there with the pitch and carry just short of the first down. We're on 3rd and 1 here. Trojans were just 3rd and 1 on their last attempt and converted. Let's see if they can carry that same energy here. And the Demons look to stop it. They are anticipating the run.
Battle at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, and he kept the ball, and he's running, and a pass handoff. Oh, that was a crazy tackle there. He grabbed him by the leg.
Great ball fake there by the quarterback. Swung out to his right. He had your outback breaking free into the flat. So well-designed play was really similar to what we just saw on the opposite side of the field. This time, able to convert. The quarterback able to get a much better ball thrown together there.
Indeed. Zandrick Allison was the receiver there, picking up the first down.
Jones hammers into his player. 1st and 10 for Fairfield.
1st and 10 on Washington's 38-yard line.
Demons, we're bearing down.
Methodical drive by Fairfield here, and if you're watching,
very methodical.
If you're watching, maybe you're looking at something, a run blitz, something to maybe shake up the difference.
Handoff there.
He's
broke free. Oh, and he's touchdown. Number 32, Tucker Robertson, picking up that touchdown. 38 yards there. It's very difficult when they're running that T formation. Who actually gets the ball there? So
you're operating inside of a phone booth. I know we used that analogy earlier, but there is so much happening inside a small square footage to where it's the discipline from Washington of having to make sure you're staying in your lanes, that you're not biting on the ball fakes initially, and that's really, really easier said than done, right? Because again, a lot of eye candy going on in the backfield, a lot of stuff happening, but it's a testament really to what Fairfield is able to do. That is a complex system from Rome with all that misdirection. You got 5 different guys at any given time in the backfield going different directions. Yes. And that quarterback has to navigate all that and then read it right and then hand it to the correct player. It's really impressive.
They're going to go for 2 again here. Pitch to Zandrick Allison. And it's in, and he gets that 2 points back that they needed. As the game is 15-14, Washington Demons still up in the lead. We're going to take a quick break here. Homecoming, Washington Demon football.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page. Here at The Morning Breath, we start every morning with style and grace.
Give me a
Engaging you with thoughtful and critically thinking topics to start your day.
Did you know that Pop-Tarts are horrible for you?
While always maintaining a professional and family-friendly environment.
John, you're no longer a virgin.
Oh, and all the other stuff.
Flowers. Yes.
We talk on all over the world.
Out of There's another word for that, Peter. What do we call that? Cold.
It is cold. It's going to get
weekdays at 7:15, only on the Southeast Iowa Video Network Facebook and YouTube page.
And we're back here at Case Field with Washington Demon football on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. Washington Demons lead 15-14 after that 38-yard touchdown from Tucker Robertson. Washington, and she's not going down there after the kickoff. Going back to Washington being able to stay on their feet and fight for those extra yards.
And it's important here, if you're Washington's offense, put together, you want to answer it, back and forth, but your defense has had to stay on the field for 2 long drives by Fairfield.
Yes.
So if you're Washington, you want to score here, but you not necessarily have to be in a huge hurry to do it, because you want to give that defense, the players that are not maybe playing both ways, just a chance to get a little bit of a breather on that sideline dealing with that T formation.
The interesting thing about football is that every single point matters, and Washington has a safety net, a small safety net there with that 1 point, with Cale Williams putting the ball in the air. Just overshot that one there. Nick Stone was the intended receiver there.
Yeah, Stone, he was going to the outside. He got his head turned maybe a little bit too soon, and that allowed that defender to suction cup to him a little bit and create a little bit of contact. They're probably not going to be calling that. Just some hand fighting, both guys looking back at the ball. I know one of the coordinators was hoping for it there, but it's one of those things where they're also something to watch. There's been 3 high snaps, and Williams has handled all of them very well, but they got to making sure that there's a clean exchange happening.
Yes, indeed. Keeping that composure is going to be important as they only lead by 1 point. Cale Williams, quick handoff there, and he breaks. That's
we
a
got
flag.
A horse collar.
Yes,
that's
we do. Yes, we do. Caden Griner there.
Caden Griner on the carry. There's a flag on the play.
He had a beautiful stiff arm in play.
He did.
And the defender was like, well, I see your stiff arm and I'm going to raise you a horse collar. And the referee said, well, actually, I'm going to see your stiff arm and the horse collar and raise you a flag. And we're going 15.
Seems the officials are discussing something there. There's no football on the field as Washington just broke out of their huddle.
A lot of discussion. This is where you wish, we were at the level of the pros because we could understand with the mic and knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
So at the spot of the flag, now we're going to walk it off.
Yep. 15 yards, automatic first down for the Demons.
Add an additional 15 yards to the 41-yard line.
All right, now we have a football on the ground. Washington comes out of their break. The play is going to resume.
And if you're Fairfield's coach, you just got to be like, man, what are we doing? They had a nice position to take a tackle for little to no gain. Then you commit that penalty, and it's a backbreaker.
Hand off to Carson Brown, and he breaks through. Oh, yeah. Carson Brown's on that left side, and he's tackled just short of the 20-yard line.
Seth, I don't know if you've ever hung out with Carson Brown at all or seen him up close. He's a well-put-together young man. Tall, but definitely has spent some time in the weight room, and he gets going. I told him the other day, I said, man, you got a little Gronkowski in you coming downhill on the sideline.
Yes, indeed. As he keeps that first down and that ball moving.
First and 10 from the Fairfield 18-yard line.
I would also highlight him as just one of the unquestioned leaders on this football team, too, as well.
Washington got one in the backfield. 2 receivers on the far right side. Pass. And it's intercepted there. Ethan Bisgard with the pop-up interception from Cale Williams.
That was a wild series of events that takes place. Hits the Washington player, bounces off the chest, which I know Nicholas got to be saying, hey, Diamond, catch that ball with your hands, right? And just popped up off the chest there, and then you had off of one defender to another. It's almost like Franco Harris, the Immaculate Reception type of stuff happening out there.
Yes, but unfortunate for the Demons as they commit a turnover.
Yeah.
The first turnover of the game.
That hurts because that's a good drive that they were starting to put together there. Really really to answer. Now your defense is being asked to stand tall again here.
Timeout from Fairfield. Washington Demons lead 15-14. 7.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. We'll be right back.
At WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your health care.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
So Fairfield setting up shop after the Cale Williams interception. The Trojans, having just scored on their last drive, a chance to take the lead after making it 15-14. First play from scrimmage, none too successful. Zeph, to go back to what we talked about in the pregame, takeaways and giveaways, more importantly for Washington, hurt them in that Mount Pleasant game, and then now Fairfield already has their first takeaway of the game here in the second.
That takeaway comes at the cost of Washington attempting to switch up their offense a little bit, put that ball in the air, and that one was just unfortunate. Popping off the chest of the receiver there. Pop-up interceptions are very tough to deal with, as they aren't going to always be there, but...
And Fairfield breaking free. Zandrick Allison has space. He's eventually run down right at midfield. And that is what Fairfield's best back can do. First big run of the game, other than the touchdown they scored on their last possession with Tucker Robertson. Zandrick Allison scampers right out to midfield. Fairfield on the move again.
Tackle on the play by Evans.
Zandrick Allison has really been good this game. He's getting a lot of breakaways, gaining big yards. Washington just needs to put the eyes on him, but that T formation is just so hard to pinpoint where's the ball going to go.
Another big run up the middle, and Fairfield will score. Ethan Biscard that time. The Washington defense, just like you said on cue, Zeph, fooled by some of those fake handoffs. Biscard dashes up the middle. Fairfield immediately making Washington pay for the turnover.
Ethan Biscard was the guy who did get that interception on the opposite end of the field, and now brings it home for the touchdown to complete the full drive.
So Biscard, a 50-yard scamper, and Fairfield has the lead. They've been going for two tonight, so a chance to go up 21-15 on this two-point attempt. They were 1 or 2 for 3 today.
I'll tell you what, their offense has done a well job of keeping things in front of them.
Hand off to Allison. No, it's a keeper. Richardson looking for the corner. He is in bounds. Nice toe-tapping catch that time by Robertson.
Looks like Washington did not want that to be called inbound.
2-point conversion for Fairfield.
Ref was right there, so he deemed that Robertson got his feet down. It is 22-15 Fairfield. Washington has to avoid that. Could be a real momentum shifter for the Trojans. This offense has not been stopped yet tonight. Washington, Zeph, needing a response to coming back out here in possession after the turnover.
That's going to be a conversation they're going to have over the halftime break, is how do you identify who gets the ball in that T formation? It throws the entire defense off. It throws me off as the guy calling the game. You don't really know. And credit to the Trojans on their offensive side. They're really good at faking the ball. Every single play it goes to some fresh legs. They're not, doing too many of the same handoffs to the same guy. So yeah, the Demons got to figure something out
Once
there.
again, I'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game: CBI Bank and Trust, Federation Bank,
and Washington
State Bank.
Yeah, you're right. Going back to the turnover, a bit, maybe unlucky to have that one end up in the hands of the defender, but that is their 8th interception on the season for the Demons. And certainly can't afford more. And Fairfield, right now, doing to this Washington defense what it's been able to do to most teams this season. This is a Trojans team that has been unafraid to get into shootouts with its opponents. It has 4 losses this year, but 44-38. That was against Centerville. I was at that game. They were in position to win it with a minute left. Centerville's a ranked Class 2A team. Fairfield's offense went blow for blow with that Centerville side. Can Washington find a response? Cutting up the field, it's Cale Williams, and the quarterback doing a little kickoff return duty, takes it to the 40, and the Demons will start in Trojan territory.
Great return there for the Demons. They needed some big yards, some big momentum as the clock just winds down. Looks like there's a flag on the play.
It was a sideline warning. That is what the PA indicated for Washington. So just trying to get them back to the sideline after that big Cale Williams run. He's not a common kick returner on this Washington team. Doesn't have a return yet this season, but took a big one there to the Demons 40 and will now go under center. Caden Griner next to Williams. He throws a quick screen to Nick Stone. And Nick Stone able to rumble all the way to the 28-yard line. That is going to move the sticks for Washington.
Brady Weigel and number 32, Tucker Robertson.
They're going back to the air with the ball. Credit to Washington, still trying to get that part of the game going, in an attempt to throw off that Trojan defense, and maybe we're going to see another Cale Williams right up the middle tie this thing up before halftime.
Williams, shotgun formation. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Motion man is Roberts. Williams, here is the keeper, trying to cut up the middle, and he is wrapped up immediately by a couple of defenders. Owen Adam, the freshman, was the first one to him. Henry Kunzal, a sophomore defensive lineman, also hit Williams. So you're right, Seth. They went to that designed run up the middle. That time, though, Fairfield's defensive line ready for it.
It's almost like you have to do the ABBA. You don't want to do too many of the same plays in consecutive. You want to switch it up a little bit, and right there, the Trojans were all over the switch up.
Williams in the shotgun again. 4 receivers set. Roberts comes in motion again. This time he'll take it. He'll bounce to the outside. He'll make a man miss. Another miss. Liam Roberts. Touchdown, Washington.
That was such a great run from Liam Roberts there. That last defender was huge. That last juke move he hit was huge in securing that touchdown for the Demons. Great run from Liam Roberts.
29 yards. And Washington, we'll see if they go for 2. We've seen them do that once and then audible to the field goal the second time.
If I'm the Demons, I remain composed and just go for the 1. Don't attempt to go for the 2 as you're down and you need to keep the game knotted up.
You in the headset of the team they're in? That's exactly what they did.
I might be,
So they will go for 1 that will tie this game on the PAT. It is up. It is through. We are tied. Back and forth we go. And boy, oh boy, the homecoming crowd, which has packed out this home side bleachers, it has been in for a treat so far. Not a ton of defense, but a whole lot of offense between Washington and Fairfield. And going back to that Roberts touchdown, that one was a run on the jet sweep. We saw him take that screen from the 29-yard line to the other 29-yard line.
Yes, indeed.
This is a dynamic playmaker, sophomore in Liam Roberts. And to go back to your point, too, what have you made of Washington using? We saw them take the shot to Nick Stone that was, Williams overthrew. But some of these short passes, those dump-offs, have worked wonders for Washington against Fairfield's defense.
We talked a lot about that T formation that the Trojans are using. Washington's using their own formation, and being able to get you to think Cale Williams is going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. But he's switching it up this game, and it's working in his favor. that interception, we don't even have to talk about that anymore because he just made up for it with that Nick Stone reception and that touchdown there.
It felt like the ball game could have completely flipped momentum when Fairfield scored that last touchdown and was able to capitalize so quickly on two big runs. And obviously Washington still yet to really stop this Trojan defense, or this Trojan offense rather. And the huge kick is picked up and
he picked that up. That didn't go out of bounds.
And picked up and stepped out of bounds by Zandrick Allison. Not sure why he didn't let that one roll out, but nevertheless, first down and 10 Trojans. So this Washington defense still needing to step up to the task, it feels like a little bit, but it is a whole new ball game all of a sudden. Again here, tied at 22.
22, but we're going to call it 0. There's no one's winning now. No one has the advantage. You know, and that might be the thing that the Trojans are in all these shootouts, you know, because they have a really good offense, but their defense isn't able to stop the other team from scoring, and that could work against them as we can see this game continue here. Just under 5 minutes in the second.
Fairfield from its 26. Flag comes in. Richardson rolling out to his right, trying to get some on the ground. We'll get about 3. We'll see the flag, or we'll check flag.
Richardson on the carry.
First towards the far side hash.
Holding on Fairfield is the call. That will back the Trojans up and negate the short Richardson run. Penalties haven't been too much of a major factor for either of these teams. You've seen, I believe it was one big run in the first quarter for Washington that was wiped away with a hold, but that didn't stop the Demons from scoring on their opening drive.
Yes, indeed. This flag right there was one that Washington needed. They needed to show that offense needed to just slow down a little bit, you know, and let's see how they respond as they have the Trojans backed up almost in their own end zone there.
16-yard line of Fairfield is where they'll start. If you need a quick catching up, there's been plenty of scoring. Cale Williams started things out on a short run. Brady Weigel answered for Fairfield. Big run by Roberts set up another Williams touchdown, or Caden Griner touchdown run. Tucker Robertson and Ethan Bisgard touchdowns gave Fairfield the lead until that latest Roberts touchdown. Here's another big play for the Trojans. It's Bisgard again. Bisgard across the 50 and stepping out of bounds in Washington territory. So a little bit of trickeration there for the Trojans pays off, and Ethan Bisgard, who is a threat in the receiving game this season, 8 catches for 86 yards coming into tonight.
You know, we mentioned earlier how they don't have any receivers lined up, but they have some receivers in that box, and it's almost like you got to expect it to come when you are anticipating the run, you're getting back there, they're going to air the ball.
Richardson hands it off to Allison. No, it's a keeper up the middle. And trundling forward that time, I believe was Bisgard. So he's going to actually, it was Robertson on the carry.
So we got an injury on the field.
Looks like a Washington player just slow to get up.
Got a bit of a limp there.
Looks like he was able to make his way up under his own power. I believe that might have been Blaine Reese. I don't want to speculate, but no substitutes happened on defense for Washington. So a bit of a brief knock. You're going to get those in the trenches in this game with how much Fairfield runs the ball. It's 2nd and 5 from the Trojans' 42. Can Fairfield answer the Washington touchdown? Allison gets it, bounces it to the left side. Allison with space. Allison trying to truck a defender.
Great
and
tackle, great stop.
Ripped down after another big gain. Liam Roberts on the stop, but that will move the sticks again for Fairfield. They'll have it at the Washington 24.
Credit to Liam Roberts being able to meet him right at the contact, you know, not let him get any extra yards. He said, I'm going to take this hit. If I go down, you're coming down with me.
16 and a half tackles coming in for the sophomore. Does have one of Washington's interceptions as well. Can the Demons offset their giveaway earlier with the takeaway? Bisgard keeps it. Washington sniffs it out. A flag comes in.
Bisgard on the carry there.
That was the first time Washington was able to break through and stop that T line right there, that T formation.
And holding for Fairfield will back it up even further.
And that's what Washington needed there.
Oh, and another flag comes in. This is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on Fairfield. The ref was told something he did not like from the offensive line of the Trojans.
You don't want to do that.
And so that's going to offset the Allison run as well. And Fairfield now all the way backed up.
To their
yeah, we'll see where the refs spot it. So you're going to have a 10-yard penalty on the holding. It looks like a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct. So instead of a 1st and 10, Fairfield is going to have to back up, I think, past midfield here. Ball will be spotted on their 49-yard line.
You got to know coach does not like that. Approaching a 2-minute warning and you get an unsportsmanlike conduct right after a holding.
Official designation is 1st and 36. Not sure if they added in another yard there, but 1st and 36 from the Trojans' 49-yard line.
Credit Washington's defense for blowing up that T formation. Looks like they're going to...
A pass, a rollout to the right, and Fairfield's going to get a chunk back. Richardson completes it to Tucker Robertson. He's going to get all the way to the 28, nearly gets to the original line of scrimmage. So a big, big pickup, give him 21.
You know, they didn't waver. They had to make up for their own failure, but they didn't waver. The Trojans just brought it right back to where they were. And we're 2nd and 14 here.
2:33 to go in the first half. You're right, Seth. When Fairfield has had to go to the pass, they have been effective on those rollouts for Richardson, finding a couple of receivers. Run is to Bisgard up the middle. He'll get a couple. Washington was ready for that one. Multiple Demons in the trenches there. See Rudy Rolfe, Blaine Reese, the talented linebacker who leads this team with 52 tackles coming into tonight's game on the stop as well.
I think I'm starting to notice the trend on the Trojan side. When they're going to go right through the middle, Tucker Robinson's going to get that ball. When they're going to spin out, we're looking at Ethan Bisgard. He's going to be the guy that spins out.
See what Fairfield decides to draw up on 3rd and 12 from the Washington 26. It's a pass. Richardson pursued by Wolf. Evades a defender. Evades another. Richardson trying to use his legs. He's wrapped up. Nowhere to go. Washington gets the stop. A flag comes in. And that is a costly mistake. I couldn't quite tell from my vantage point who it was, but a Washington player came diving into the play, trying to wrap up Voss Richardson.
That was not needed there.
And so that is a back-breaking mistake in a situation where you were going to have 4th and long coming up, and instead Fairfield's going to get an automatic first down. It wasn't any sort of violent collision, but when the ref sees you flying in like that, kind of Superman dove at Richardson after he was already considerably stopped. So that's going to give Fairfield 1st and 10 from the Demon 13. Just like that, the Trojans, as we tick toward 90 seconds to play, are going to have an opportunity to potentially take the lead heading into halftime on homecoming for Washington.
You just got to be more aware of what's happening on the play. Trust your defense that they're going to get that man down.
Richardson tosses to Allison. He is hit after a gain of a few.
Spot the ball down to about the 9.
The clock just winds down.
Fairfield calling a timeout to stop that winding clock. They're down to 1.
Another tackle for the Demons.
If you're the coach here for Washington, you're going to wonder what was going through the head right there when we had the stop. We stopped them. They were going to hit 4th and long, and you want to come in diving like your defense didn't already have the guy down.
Reminds me of a play I saw over the weekend in the college ranks with Georgia against Alabama. It was a stop the Bulldogs had and a pile up, and a defensive back came flying over the top of the pile, gave Alabama a first down and ultimately the win in that game.
Let's hope that doesn't come back to bite them, as the Trojans are closer to the end zone than they were a couple minutes ago in this drive.
Allison got to the 6. You go back, Zeph, though, for Washington, that goal line stand they made against Burlington before they went 99 yards the other way from the bridge of the 3rd to the 4th quarter. Boy, oh boy, another one here to get that kind of first real definitive stop against this Trojan offense would be massive. 6 yards to the end zone. Snap, hand off to Allison. He trundles forward and is wrapped up. It was Weigel actually on the carry.
It's a lot easier
1 yard gain
from this angle to see what happens. If he's going to hand it off, he's going to bring it back, he's going to pass.
So 3rd and 5 coming up. Fairfield letting the clock run. Certainly don't want to give Washington time to respond if they can get it into the end zone. Richardson under center. 3-man backfield. And off to Allison. Allison muscles his way and is stood up. He's short. So they don't give Fairfield the first down. That's an important note too. They can pick up the first down without scoring. And instead it's going to be 4th and 1 on the 4-yard line. And a huge play coming up as Fairfield calls its final timeout with 28 seconds to go.
Washington's defense is really good when it comes down to stopping really short gains. So in this moment right here, you want to prepare for something to come straight down the middle because they want to get that easy yard and, you know, potentially get a touchdown. You also want to be prepared because their quarterback, Voss Richardson, is really good at breaking away from that T formation and passing that ball off.
4 yards from the end zone. If they can get to the 3, they'll have a first down. It's notable Fairfield will have to go fairly quickly with 28 seconds and no timeouts, but they can hustle back to the line and run a couple plays to the end zone, even if they don't get in here, if they can pick up one. Washington looking for a huge momentum-shifting stop on 4th and 1 after the big penalty earlier in the drive. Richardson, direct keeper. He pushes forward, and the refs stop the clock. They're going to check the spot.
It is definitely a first down.
And it looks like Richardson got the first down. He did. The clock will run. So 23 seconds to go. 3 yards out of the end zone for Fairfield. Richardson pitches to Allison. Allison cuts around a defender and is stood up. A flag comes in. At least I thought it did. The ball actually was what came out briefly. They spotted it down. Fairfield recovered, and Richardson's just going to spike it. Did he get it off? There's zeros on the clock.
Did they give him the timeout?
Did they give him the spike? The refs are going to talk it over. I don't think they did. Officials are talking about it. Fairfield's huddling up. Saw Kelly Williams indicate that they didn't.
So Xander Allison on that previous play got down to this.
I thought I saw a flag come in. I think it was the ball that was knocked out briefly, and then Fairfield just fell on it, got back up and spiked it. But boy, this would be a big mistake. There's no time left on the clock. The scoreboard we have is what the scoreboard reads at the stadium. Fairfield's trying to get to the line and get another play off. The refs are still huddled up.
It did look like there were flags that were thrown. I saw something flying from both sides of the field where the refs were. But if they say the ball popped out.
So this is a major call at the end of the first half, because if Washington can escape with this goal line stand, could be huge heading into the third quarter. Fairfield will get the ball to start the second half. The refs are still talking about it.
Fans waiting for a call as well.
This is an awfully long discussion, especially if Fairfield is going to get another play here. I mean, they did spike it, but it would be 1 second left. Now a flag is thrown.
I think you were right.
And I think perhaps they might have hit Fairfield for an illegal shift as they were getting set to spike the ball,
And the first half.
which would end the first half. So the flag comes in. Richardson's now drifting over by the ref pile. What a wild end to this first half, Zeph, regardless of what call is made. This is one of the more lengthy ref discussions I've seen.
It's an important call.
Now one ref is going to jog over to the Washington bench and have a chat with Kelly Williams.
Legal shift is the call.
And the legal shift is the call for Fairfield. So I think the determination now is if there was any time left on the clock.
Zeros are still up on the scoreboard. 20
They have not put any back.
just before halftime of homecoming at Case Field. Units tied with
And it looks like they are
We're
going to give Fairfield one more play despite the penalty, so they're backed up. The ball is on the 5-yard line, I believe, after the penalty. Or sorry, the 9-yard line, rather.
We don't see Fairfield bring out any kicker.
They are not. The offense has stayed on the field. Fairfield has not had a kick tonight. Zandrick Allison's on the kicking duties. At least in theory, he has not attempted a field goal all season. We'll see if they let him try his first. He is 3 of 7 on PATs. 2024, last year as the kicker, he missed his 1 field goal attempt. The refs are now talking things over again. Now we are going to have one untimed down. Fairfield's offense is staying on the field. The ball's on the 9-yard line. And this will either go or it doesn't with no time left on the clock. Washington needing one more stop. A little bit of space for Fairfield to work with. And they are going to put 1 second back, so it doesn't really change much. It's the scoreboard just changed just to a hearty 1.
I'm not a fan of this call here. This is a point where you want to take your 3 points before you go into halftime. You don't want to attempt to get a touchdown. You want to get your 3
offense
points.
on the field. Demons need one more stop. Richardson rolls out, looking, pressured. Richardson stays alive, fires to the end zone, knocked away. So Washington does finally get the stop and end the first half. Wow.
They had to work for it.
So some drama, some ref conversations, but the first half is officially in the books. We are tied at 22. We'll come back in just a few moments, recap what was an eventful first 24 minutes of football. You are watching Homecoming on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, powered by Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience. The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kyoto my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you. At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page. Here at The Morning Breath, we start every morning with style and grace.
Give me a
Engaging you with thoughtful and critically thinking topics to start your day.
Did you know that Pop-Tarts are like horrible for you?
While always maintaining a professional and family-friendly environment.
John, you're no longer a virgin.
Oh, and all the other stuff.
Wow, version. Yes, read the bottom. We talk on all over the world.
Out of There's another word for that, Peter. What do we call that? Cold.
It is cold. It's going to get
Weekdays at 7:15, only on the Southeast Iowa Video Network Facebook and YouTube page.
At WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your healthcare.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience. The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Keota my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
Back at a Case Field that has seen plenty of scoring in the first 24 minutes between Washington and Fairfield. This is the Fairway Meat and Grocery halftime show. Jack Knowlton, Zeph Walker-El. I feel like I have to give you another fist bump like I did in the pregame. After what we saw unfolded, 22-22. We are all tied up at the break on homecoming for Washington. It has lived up between these two traditional SEC powers who have split the last two matchups. Of course, Fairfield won last in 2023. Washington got the win last year. Quick scoring roundup for anyone just joining us who wasn't tuned in, or just if you want a recap of this eventful first half. It was a Cale Williams 51-yard run that set up a 6-yard score for himself. 2-point conversion was good for Washington. Brady Weigel answered with a 6-yard run for Fairfield. Washington, a nice run by Roberts, set up another Caden Griner touchdown to make it 15-6. Tucker Robertson scored from 38 yards out to make it 15-13. Williams threw an interception that Fairfield was then able to convert into 6, courtesy of Ethan Biscard. Washington then tied it on a Liam Roberts touchdown, catch and run, and then on the final possession of the half, Fairfield gets it all the way to the 4-yard line. An illegal shift is called as they attempted to spike the ball. The refs had a long discussion on whether there was any time left. They determined there was. Voss Richardson rolls out to his right and fires a pass incomplete in the back of the end zone, and that is how the first half ended, Zip. Did you follow all that? What did you make of it? I'll just ask you your broad takeaways as Washington and Fairfield unable to be separated through the first 2 quarters.
I think this game is going to come down to the defense. The first defensive stop, like the real stop. We saw that Ethan Biscard interception, but I don't want to say that's a big defensive stop, because the Washington Demons came down and scored after the Trojans couldn't do it on their end. So it's going to come down to which defense actually gets a big break, figures out what the other offense is doing, and gets something consistent. The first defense to do that team wins the game. Because right now we're experiencing a little bit of a shootout, right? So Cale Williams is doing his thing, and his support system's doing their thing. On the Trojan end, that T formation, the Washington Demons have yet to figure it out. We saw a little bit of flashes there, but it unfortunately ended in a terrible, unnecessary dive from the Demons, which gave the Trojans this final drive to end the game, which was so in the half, which was really confusing. A lot of ref conversation there, but again, I'm gonna go back and say this: the first consistent defensive stop, that's what's going to win the game.
Yeah, and you feel Washington maybe has a good opportunity to get it, even if they can force Fairfield to punt. The Trojans will start the second half with the ball. If you can come out and make a statement defensively, we have praised this Washington defensive front, and they have gotten to some of those Fairfield running backs in the back of the end zone. We saw that a few times. Like you said before, the dive that in the unsportsmanlike conduct that set Fairfield up at the 4, they were going to be faced with 4th and 12, and probably had to take a shot then. So you had some good plays building. We praised Blaine Reese, the linebacker for Washington, so much this season. Rudy Wolf, a defensive lineman. You felt those two kind of start to get some momentum. But this Fairfield rushing attack, we tried to talk about it as much as we could in the pregame. That T formation, they can fake handoffs to guys. They are very good at executing that under Coach Matt Jones. And for you, who has stood out on the Trojan side, maybe offensively, that Washington needs to particularly try to bottle up?
You want to say look out for Zandrick Allison. You want to say look out for Tucker Robertson. Both guys who've put up touchdowns tonight. But that interception from Ethan Biscard and then those runs that he's had has just changed the dynamic of, can Washington get the job done? So I give the half to Ethan Biscard.
I think Ethan Biscard deserves a lot of credit too. And as you were saying that, I was thinking too, some of these design rollouts for Voss Richardson have been very effective for Fairfield in the first half, allowed them, obviously the one to the end zone was incomplete. You saw Washington make those adjustments to it. They got some pressure home, but he does a good job at staying on his feet. He was the quarterback of this team last year as a sophomore, and has continued as a junior. He stays very composed. This is a Fairfield team that almost beat Centerville on a 4th down touchdown pass on a similar design play. So I look for the Trojans to keep doing that, I think, in the second half, trying to go to that, and we'll see if Washington can really cut off their water in terms of scoring and getting progressive plays down the field that way. I think that's going to be huge for Washington. Quickly, who stood out to you in that first half on either side of the ball?
For Washington, I want to give a shout out to Caden Griner for his first touchdown of the season. That was amazing. So I got to give it to them as a collective. They've been able to really switch up their offense, and we saw Cale Williams put the ball in the air a few times, and normally we see him run over every defense, but this game he was allowed to lean on his counterparts. So it got to go to Nick Stone, it's got to go to Liam Roberts, Carson Brown, Brown, Caden Griner, all these guys have been able to allow the pressure on Cale Williams to just fall off a little bit. The Trojans are forgetting, and then Cale Williams is going to hit him right through the middle.
Yeah, my shout out I think has to go to Liam Roberts for me. This is a guy didn't record any offensive stats in that loss to Mount Pleasant. This is someone who I think you have to continue involving this season. 4 catches for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns coming into the day. We saw the 74-yard catch and run that set up that Griner touchdown, and then we saw Washington use him on that kind of direct jet sweep. He's elusive when he can get to the edge and get to the outside and make people miss, and he did that. I think if Washington can keep using him as a weapon, it's going to further open things up for runs like that Cale Williams 51-yard run that set up his first touchdown. I think that is going to be major for Washington in the second half, is getting Liam Roberts the ball in some of these creative ways. And Zeph, one more note, yet to see a trick play yet in this first half from Washington. Fairfield pulled one out that set up their touchdown.
We've seen a few screens.
Yes.
A few screens, but...
And one shot to Nick Stone that went a little bit long and was overthrown. The other notable thing in this first half, no punts from either team. I don't think you can overstate that enough. Which defense, to go back to Zeph's point, which defense is going to make that crucial first stop, get another takeaway if you're Fairfield, or get the first takeaway of the game if you're Washington? It's going to be interesting. It's been anything but a chess match. You want to call it that because it's tied. It's been more like a shootout, which we've touched on has played into Fairfield's hands in the past, but Washington has scored on its fair share of teams too. We saw 42 dropped on Oskaloosa. They put up 35 against a ranked Mid-Prairie team. So this is a demon side that if its offense is clicking, it can score with anyone. Zeph, quick final thought from you before we kick to a break on the Fairway Meat and Grocery halftime show.
A final thought for me, I just want to note the first defense that gets something done, but that Washington offense, they are unorthodox, just as well as that T formation. You don't know who's going to score next, and I think that's a good thing to note going into the second half. You don't have to just look at Cale Williams. You got to watch out for everyone.
Absolutely. We'll see how Washington can fare in the second half on homecoming night here at Case Field. Been a fun one through 2 quarters. We'll kick it to a quick break. We will come back. Fairfield will get the ball first to start the second half. You're watching Washington Demon football on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, powered by Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you. At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page. Here at The Morning Breath, we start every morning with style and grace. Engaging you with thoughtful and critically thinking topics to start your day.
Did you know that Pop-Tarts are like horrible for you?
While always maintaining a professional and family-friendly environment.
John, you're no longer a virgin.
Oh, and all the other stuff.
Flowers. Yes, green the bottom. We talk on all over the world.
There's another word for that, Peter. What do we call that? Cold.
It is cold. It's going to get
weekdays at 7:15, only on the Southeast Iowa Video Network Facebook and YouTube page.
At WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your health care.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience. The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kyoto my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you. At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance. Welcome back to Case Field on homecoming night for the Washington Demons, who are set to kick off the second half to the Fairfield Trojans. Fairfield had a dramatic end to the first half, getting to the Washington 4. An illegal shift sent them back to the 9. They were unable to cash in, which is why we're stacked up at 22. Ethan Bisgard trying to make something happen off the kickoff for Fairfield. He bounces to the left after going to the right. Still can't be contained. The kicker to beat. Bisgard eventually dragged all the way down, still on his feet, and gets to the 35 of Washington. My goodness, the start that you wanted if you're the Fairfield Trojans, and that was who you spotlighted at the end of the first half, Seth.
That was
Bisgard, my goodness.
That was a run, but the kick that we got there from Washington was a really good kick, and you'd think that they'd get the stop, on the opposite side of the field, but Ethan Bisgard just did not go down. That guy was just running, breaking tackles. That was a great run.
Traveled about 90 yards to get to that 35, going all the way to the left and then all the way back to his right. Sandrick Allison stood up. Washington all over that one. Clayton Evans, the senior linebacker, one of the best tacklers on this team, with 39.5 entering tonight. Drives him back.
That goes back to what we were saying. Washington has to figure out how to stop that T formation, and right there, that was a great example of whatever happened during that halftime conversation with Coach. They came out with the energy, and they're watching who is the guy to go to for that T formation.
Evans, 14 tackles in the last 2 games. He's in good form. Ball is on the ground. And Ethan Bisgard was able to dive on it. And that can be sometimes the detriment of that read option for Fairfield if they mishandle the handoffs and the fakes. We saw a fumble, we believe, on the play that was ultimately called the illegal shift at the end of the second. That one ends up just backing Fairfield up to the 36 of Washington.
Again, they're watching that T formation. They're figuring out that you have to get there fast. Do not allow the Trojans to make a decision.
3rd and 11. This could be the first stop Washington was looking for. Pass all the way. Richardson rolls out incomplete.
Almost. That could have been an interception if they were ready for it.
Don't know if that maybe slipped out of Richardson's hands. Allison was was open on a route near the first down marker, but Richardson just underthrew him. And we will see, it looks like potentially Fairfield, if they are going to punt it, we'll see what they opt to do. Voss Richardson is the team's punter, so that makes it a little bit confusing. You can have a pooch punt maybe. This part of the field is there to do it. Now he is dropped back to punt. So
first big stop from Washington.
So Richardson's going to punt. Could be a potential fake if he thinks about it. No, he will send it off with the right foot, trying to pin Washington back. It's going to dribble out of bounds right at the 10-yard line. So the Demons get that stop they were looking for to start the second half.
That is the type of energy that they want coming out of halftime. That means whatever was talked about in that locker room, Kelly Williams got through their heads and said, hey, you have to stop this T formation. You have to stop this offense. We know who they're going to. We see the 3 guys, and watch that rollout from Voss Richardson right there. Good defense.
Credit to the defensive front, like you mentioned, of Washington getting home on that first down run. It felt really big in terms of impacting where Fairfield went on the rest of those plays. Richardson tried to roll out to his left that time. We've seen him roll out to his right a couple of times. So Washington going to take over. 1st and 10 from the 12 is where they mark the punt officially going out. And Carson Brown is in motion. He takes the handoff and scampers for a first down. He nearly broke that one out on the sideline when he got the angle.
He could have. He was 1 tackle away from being gone. Great run from Carson Brown there.
Credit to, missed who it was, but Fairfield on the tackle. Might have been touchdown saving, but a good first play call for Washington gives them 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Demons looking to take the lead back. They led by 2 scores in the first half before an interception flipped momentum. Williams, Liam Roberts in motion. Liam Roberts, no, Williams keeper, and he will burst up the middle for 5.
By number 2, Chase Countryman.
Williams plunging forward on that run.
Credit to Washington. They're figuring it out. They're figuring out how to keep the defense of the Trojans, keep them guessing. Don't go to the same thing. Don't go to the well this game. This game, the well is not your friend. Switching it up, using all of your guys is what's going to get you over the edge here.
Richardson from the shotgun. Quick pass out to Aiden Schmitz, who is wrapped up immediately by a bevy of Fairfield defenders. Voss Richardson, one of them over there, along with the sophomore Tucker Robertson, as we have a Demon down, and might be a cramping issue there.
Need to go grab that mustard.
Could be. We'll have an injury timeout. Can't see currently who it is. Can't make out the number. Don't want to assume, but his right leg's getting stretched out. Kelly Williams over there to check on him as well. And it was walking off under his own power, it looks like. I believe Gatlin Nash. It was indeed number 71 for Washington, 270-pound lineman, so a valuable member of that Demon offensive line. They'll look to get him right. So 3rd and 4.
That's his second reception of the season, now 27 yards.
Aiden Schmitz on that last catch for Washington. Can they pick up a big 3rd down here after getting a stop themselves from Fairfield, or will the Trojans yet again match the Demons, this time defensively? Williams barking out orders.
This should be an interesting play here from Kale.
Williams gets a man to jump.
Woo! That was huge.
Benji Hunter, the defensive lineman, went And so that's going to give Washington a first down. We saw that hard count against Burlington work so effectively when Washington was pinned back. You saw Williams, that seemed to be by design with the way he was giving out some calls, was kind of saying a few things to his teammates, and then quickly with the clap gets his players to, the Fairfield player to jump rather.
It looks as though he wanted to call Nick Stone in, but Nick knew that he was trying to get the defense to jump, and right there it worked in their favor.
Roberts, the motion man, gets the jet sweep and all over that one. Zandrick Allison for Fairfield.
It looks like he slipped right there. Like he wanted to. Yeah, he definitely slipped right there and got tackled.
Gatlin Nash, by the way, just ran back into the Washington huddle from the sideline. So the starting offensive lineman back for the Demons, and it's been a different tone to start this third quarter, Zeph. It's a lot more of that chess match. Kind of both teams sort of feeling each other out after an explosive first half. Different kind of tone, different kind of pace so far.
I was going to mention that earlier. It does feel like more of a chess match now.
Roberts. No. Williams keeper again. Williams bursts forward. Cale Williams all the way to the 45 of Fairfield.
You got to look at
an effective use of the fake jet sweep that time to Roberts.
Look at the way he just ducked down and just burst with speed. He took a crouch and dodged a block immediately, breaking straight down the middle, gaining about 40 yards there.
21 on 2nd and 12.
Excuse me, I guess 21.
Big pickup on a 2nd and 12 call for Cale Williams.
Huge run, huge.
And right after calling it, seeming like the game was going to get stagnant, Washington all of a sudden back in business. Handoff goes to Grant Whistler, who is bottled up. Another good tackle that time by Tucker Robertson.
There's something that the halfbacks for Washington have to do, and that's don't be afraid to take the tackle when you're going down, because running too far to the sideline will eventually cost you yards that you could have gotten if you would have just accepted the hit and pushed through it.
6.5 to go in quarter number 3 here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. All tied at 22 between Washington and Fairfield. Quick pass out to Roberts. Gets the screen. Takes it and will pick up the first down.
See, he took the defense and he took it head on. He wasn't afraid to get that hit, and it gave him some extra yards. Great run from Liam Roberts there.
Blaine Reese laid out a really nice block as well. Number 51 for Washington, 225-pounder, plays linebacker on defense, and you can see Washington using his speed to their advantage for him to quickly get out to Roberts and truck the first defender. So another first down. Washington's offense churning. 6 minutes to go in the third. Cale Williams.
Again, credit to that ball movement. Everyone's getting touches. Keep the Trojans guessing.
This time it's Carson Brown evades a tackle, but he is swallowed up. And there is Tucker Robertson again. And another injured player, or cramping player, it looks like again for Washington. Shout out to Ethan Biscard for Fairfield for providing the stretch before the trainer came out for the Demons.
I mentioned it. We need some mustard out here. Cale hasn't put his guys onto the magic sauce.
And we talked to Kelly Williams about that after Washington's win over Burlington. I don't see the mustard bottle on the sideline. I got Cale Williams' take on that as well. He is not a mustard fan, so when he was cramping up, he went and took a shot of it, but he was very reluctant to do so.
Hey, if it works, it works.
We'll see if we can spot it there on the sideline before the game is out, but I think that might be Nash again.
There's still 17 minutes and 45 seconds.
With plenty of time left in this game, it's a worthwhile time pointing out to Zeph. Washington dealing with the cramping issues right now. Fairfield, by our count, only roughly 18 or 19 players. This is a team that was struggling with injuries heading into its last game against Solon, and does not have a deep bench over on the sideline. That is going to potentially play an impact for the Trojans, as this game ticks toward the later stages.
It could be impacting them right now because this slow, methodical drive that Washington's putting on them, you know, it could be giving them a bit of a breather, but at the same time, you know, they have to stay on their toes. They don't want Washington to just explode away with another run like Cale Williams just got right there.
Nash still getting stretched out, trying to get the muscles reactivated for the offensive linemen. Washington knotted up at 22 with Fairfield, and you know, you wonder how this affects the Demon drive too, because they probably wanted to keep going quickly. They were really starting to cut into that Fairfield defense as Nash able to put a little bit of weight on that left leg. He'll make his way over to the sideline. So
yeah, he might have to sit for a bit. It's Nash again.
Came back out on the field after cramping the first time. We'll see if he can get right again. Washington back out on the field. Ball on the 36 of Fairfield. It's been shotgun mostly for Williams in this drive. He's set up in the pistol now. Eric Raimundo is the replacement right guard for the Demon offense. Pistol formation for Washington. Williams takes the snap, a carry for Griner, who tries to grind his way for a couple yards. He's going to be stacked up. That will bring up 3rd and long for Washington.
That was a tough call from the Washington, as it seems as though the Trojans anticipated Cale Williams to go up the middle, but instead they found Griner and unfortunately stopped him with no gain.
Nick Stone, the big wide receiver, checking into this game. 169 yards and a touchdown. He's combined for, in Washington's last 2 matches, I beg your pardon, 138 against Oskaloosa and Mount Pleasant. 169 yards and a touchdown is his season stats. He's leading this Demons team in receiving entering tonight, and now a timeout. And Washington will call it, so they're first of the second half. So it'll be interesting to see what Kelly Williams decides to draw up. We'll kick into a short break. Come back with 3rd and long for the Demons here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Third and 12 from the Fairfield 36-yard line. Cale Williams, Liam Roberts comes in motion. Williams fakes the snap, drops back, looking right. Firing
that's
right,
a beautiful pass.
It's caught!
Beautiful pass.
And into the end zone! Clayton Evans, touchdown, Washington!
What a pass there from Cale Williams. That is what we want to see. You know, putting that ball in the air, he stepped back, got his feet set.
A flag is down in the backfield. We have a Fairfield player cramping in the end zone. Sorry to cut you off, Seth, but I saw the yellow flag and I didn't want to preempt your analysis. A dime from Cale Williams to Clayton Evans.
Imagine they call that one back.
I think that's what it's going to be. Washington is walking back toward midfield. And they are going to get, I think, a hold on the Demons as Williams rolled out to his right.
Oh, that's
two brutal penalties for Washington. They were able to make up for it by stopping Fairfield. And now Washington will have to draw something else up. That will make it 3rd and 13 from the 46-yard line instead of the touchdown. And we'll get another stoppage while they attend to the Fairfield player in the end zone. But Zeph, that's now 2 back-breaking penalties. Washington was going to maybe get off the field in the first half, was going to get a touchdown in the books there. It was a well-drawn-up play, well-executed to Richardson, finding a wide-open man.
Yes, indeed.
How do you respond now there if you're Washington?
That's a bit demoralizing, you know. The stoppage of play can be, you know, damaging to the defense as they can't, you know, keep themselves engaged with all these stoppages. You know, we need some pickle juice out here instead of mustard, right? But if I'm Washington, I go back to that. You know, it was unorthodox, and I don't think that the Trojans were prepared for them to air the ball out like that. However, you know, they still have an extra down here with it only being 3rd and 23. They need to regain those yards, and putting the ball on the ground might not be ideal, as it could stop you like short of getting that first down, or even bringing it back to the original line of scrimmage. So
yeah, we'll see if this, despite the long amount of yardage to go, if it becomes 4-down territory. If you're the Demons, trying to make out as well, who made their way to the sidelines for Fairfield. So had a number of crampings.
Yep. Zandrick Allison.
It's Zandrick Allison, the linebacker. So a loss certainly for Fairfield defensively. It's been getting to some ball carriers for Washington. Had 24.5 tackles last year as one of the leaders of this Fairfield defense. So 3rd and 23 from the Fairfield 4th and 46. What will Washington draw up this time? Clayton Evans is to Williams right. Drop back. Now runs up the middle. Williams past the defender. Cale Williams and more! Cale Williams all the way. They get everything back. Touchdown, Washington.
Wow.
This time it counts.
Wow.
46 yards for the leader in rushing touchdowns for the Demons.
That was humongous. If there was a play that they needed, that was it. That was it. Wow. I'm lost for words.
Has gone so many different directions at so many different times.
Washington will audible back to the extra point. Braden Tappan will look to tap it in again.
What a way to cap off such a long drive.
It looked like Williams initially was going to drop back to throw it. Took about 3 steps, looked up and saw a gaping hole in front of him and just charged through it. And now we have a flag down. That is a delay of game, so that's going to back Washington up for the PAT.
Hard to bring down and locate and square up to even make it.
He made a man miss to Williams. Dazzling run.
He's too fast. He's just too darn fast.
It's up to 12 touchdowns on the season on the ground. He's been doing this throughout his career. He had 6 touchdowns and 528 yards on the ground last year. Has only improved now, even as the Demons quarterback. This isn't automatic for Tepin, but he's able to drive it through. So the penalty doesn't cost Washington a point. It's 29-22. And Zeph, the Demons, ultimately, after what felt like an eternity with 4:18 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter, do capitalize on that Fairfield stop. How huge could that be?
That was humongous. The play call was questionable because going for a run in that moment could have been very risky and could have negatively affected the game. However, they trust their guy, Cale Williams, and he made the biggest play of the game right now that could honestly be the shift. That could be what they needed because they got the stop on the other end and they took their time driving the ball down the field, negating the flag that they got on the original touchdown. Great run from Cale Williams.
We'll see how this juices up the Washington defense. In case you forgot, after that long drive, Fairfield started on the Washington 35 after a big return by Ethan Biscard. He's back out there as the deep man. Braden Tappan to send it away.
Almost just shy. Ready to hit from 6 minutes.
Tappan just chips it toward the sideline, and diving on it that time is Fairfield, and so no big return. Tappan negates it with a bit of a squib there.
Welcome back inside the Colorado Money Broadcast Booth. Kickoff right and top and recovered by the Trojans.
Runs of 46 yards and 6 yards for Cale Williams tonight. He also had a 51-yard run to set up that score on a similar play for Washington's first touchdown. Trojans looking for an answer on their first drive, or their second drive rather, of the third quarter after getting stood up in Washington territory.
Huge.
Voss Richardson. Handoff is to Weigel. He'll trundle up the field for about 2. Actually, might just even be 1. Stood up that time by a few Washington defenders.
Seems like Washington's starting to figure out how to stop that T formation. We said it on their last defensive drive. They came up with the big stop there, which led to a touchdown. And like I said earlier in the halftime discussion, the first team to get consecutive stops is going to be the team that walks away with the W here tonight.
2nd and 9.
2nd down 9.
Richardson gives it to Allison, trying to bounce it out to the outside and ripped up. Cale Williams was the first to get there, and then a couple of demons, including Blaine Reese.
They may have gotten away with a horse collar there, but
Nice stop. Blaine Reese.
you know we're gonna keep the ball in play. Good stop there from the Demons.
In the end, no gain, or gain of 2 rather. They gave Allison a couple as he got to the outside. So 3rd and 7. Another big play potentially coming here for the Trojans, for both teams really. Washington now trying to get a stop in Fairfield territory. Stacking the box. Richardson keeps it. Rolls out to his right. Looking. Richardson fires back across his body. It's incomplete. Just dropped it short that time of Brady Weigel, who tried to dive for it. Would have been short of the sticks anyway, and Fairfield are going to have to punt here.
You've got to wonder on the Fairfield side, is that low depth, is that coming into play now? Having to barely be able to rotate any players in and out, the fatigue could be catching up to them, which is slowing them down, allowing the defense of Washington to take advantage.
Fairfield back to punt. It's Omar Garcia, who is the primary punter for the Trojans, sends it away. Blaze Richardson and Liam Roberts are back. Richardson fields it at the 20, tries to juke a man, gets around him. Blaze Richardson makes another man miss and pushes his way out to the 35 for a nice return.
That's
Richardson,
what you like to see.
Not used much on either side of the ball this season, has just 1.5 tackles on defense, but has been solid on special teams, particularly tonight.
That's exactly what you like to see. Push into the defense, get those extra yards, fight for it.
Give them a 14-yard return to set up Washington. They'll put it on the 33 of the Demons.
Their own 33-yard line.
With 2 minutes and 40 seconds, I've talked about the pace, Seth, the tempo. We'll see what Washington elects to do in terms of how they manage their offense. Certainly if there's another gaping hole for Cale Williams, that'll negate any sort of time considerations.
Oh, he'll take it. If there's a hole, he'll take it.
Williams in the pistol, hands it off. That is Caden Griner, bounced off a tackler, but is only going to get maybe 1.
Tackled by
Calvin McLean in on the stop. McLean into the game for Fairfield defensively. We mentioned the limited roster numbers. He was a player who entering today also hasn't contributed much on defense. Had 21.5 tackles last year. Was one of their better contributors as a sophomore. Wearing that number 59 jersey. One to watch potentially for Fairfield. Williams, keeper. Drifts to his right. Williams cuts it back. Williams bursts across midfield. And another huge gain for the Washington quarterback on the ground.
Hollander and Robertson for Fairfield. That's a Demon first down.
That is amazing.
Give him 17 and a Demon first down across the 50 to the 48 of the Trojans.
Again, Washington's able to switch up that offense, bring in different plays, confuse the Trojans, and then go right back to Cale Williams. When they see that pocket open up, he's taking it and he's gone right down the middle.
Minute and a half to go in quarter number 3. Washington looking to go back up 2 scores are driving at the moment across the 50. Hand off to Grant Whistler. He's going to get about 4.
Great fake out there from Cale Williams. He got the defender there to attack him while he did the handoff and gained those extra yards.
Williams jogs over to Kelly Williams to get the play call. To go back to what we talked about last time in that win over Oskaloosa with Kelly Williams, they want Kelly Williams to work on his reads, improve his decision making, whether it's on some of those read options like you mentioned, whether it's on a designed rollout or even some of those deep passes. He's made another team pay on the ground once again so far here tonight. 3 receivers to his right, pistol formation for Washington. Williams hands it off and stacked up. Crunched at the line of scrimmage. That time was Grant Whistler.
That's tough there.
And it was Calvin McLean in on the stop. He got there first. Ethan Biscard, who has been productive for the Fairfield defense, was also there. Final seconds of the third quarter. We'll see if Washington decides to let this tick down and send it to the 4th. It will be 3rd and 8 on the 46-yard line.
Seems like the best thing to do.
We will indeed go to the 4th quarter. Washington up 29-22. As we head to the 4th, we'll head to a short break. Come back with the start of the 4th quarter here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page. Here at The Morning Breath, we start every morning with style and grace. Engaging you with thoughtful and critically thinking topics to start your day.
Did you know that Pop-Tarts are like horrible for you?
While always maintaining a professional and family-friendly environment.
John, you're no longer a virgin.
Oh, and all the other stuff.
Flowers. Yes, straight in the butt of the third. We talk on all over the world. Out of
There's another word for that, Peter. What do we call that?
Cold.
It is cold. It's going to get
Weekdays at 7:15, only on the Southeast Iowa Video Network Facebook and YouTube page.
At WCHC, our goal is to take great care of our patients and our staff.
We are able to approach you, take care of your issues, but also give you a path, as far as referrals or treating you right then and there.
Our role in the community is taking care of something that matters to everyone. It's their family and their health.
More than you expect for your health care.
There are places where all roads lead to families providing for their loved ones and their community. That's where you'll find us. Generation after generation. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the road.
4th quarter underway between Washington and Fairfield. Demons going empty with 5 wide receivers on their first play. Williams fakes it to his left, now fires to his left, and it's intercepted! Bringing it back the other way was Jackson Hollander, the junior defensive back. So the first play from scrimmage to start the 4th, they design a shot for Williams, and he throws his second pick of the ball game.
Right there, if you're the receiver and you're coming down and you aren't going to catch it, you have to deflect your own ball. You can't just allow the defense to pick up something like that. It just dropped right in his hands, and he shot it a little bit under, or the receiver just ran a little too fast. You got to be able to react and come right back to prevent your quarterback from getting an interception and a takeaway.
That's Fairfield's 3rd interception of the season. Voss Richardson had a 96-yard pick six and their only win of the year against Knoxville. Hollander, a junior, with the pick. So that'll set up Fairfield in decent field position. And bursting up the middle is Biscard down the sideline. Will he be caught? No, he will not. Touchdown. And Fairfield responds on the first play.
And we're back. Pending this point after touchdown, we're back to a tied game. Let's see if that energy from that quick break there, flipping sides.
All the way across the field from us in this Griner Auto Body broadcast booth.
Ethan Biscard has cut up this Washington defense tonight.
Demon dove at the ankles right at the end.
And there was
couldn't
quite trip him up on the way into the end zone. So Fairfield, this is a big 2-point conversion in the fourth. It's 29-28. They have not kicked an extra point tonight. Washington has stopped one of those Fairfield conversions. Richardson swings it out. No, he keeps it. No, it does go to Biscard. Washington not able to get there. Biscard dives and caps off the play, and it will make it 30-29. Fairfield with the lead, and again flipping the momentum on a takeaway, Zeph.
That's tough there. You know, you don't want to give them the chance to have that 1-point safety net because, well, it could play in the favor of the Demons as the Fairfield Trojans don't have a good kicker on their side. So when it comes down when it's all said and done, Washington can score here, put the Trojans' backs against the wall and have to force them to go for an extra point in order to win the game.
An absolute thriller on our hands between Washington and Fairfield. These games have been high scoring over the last few years. It was 34-26 Washington last season. Fairfield's only win was actually relatively low scoring by comparison, just 23-20. Washington won in 2022 35-28. So it has been the typical offense that we have seen in this rivalry. And now the Demons need to respond on their home turf on homecoming night.
We can trust into the Demons and their offense. We can trust that they're going to come up with something, figure something out. But the clock is now the biggest enemy for both teams here.
It'll be interesting to see how strategic Washington was. They slowed things down just a little bit in the third quarter. We'll see how the pacing pans out with the ball back in possession of Washington. That one fielded by the Demons. The return goes out to the 36 of Washington.
If you're Washington, you're looking to score quick here. You want to immediately get the ball back so that your defense can actually go to work. You don't want to go too slow and then allow the ball to be in the hands of the Trojans with the clock on their side. That 1 point can be a big difference here, but I guess we'll just have to see.
So in 28 seconds of play, we've had an interception and a touchdown. I think the game is back to its pacing that we've seen, and definitely won't be surprised if there's more scoring to come. There needs to be for the Demons. Williams out of the shotgun. Motion man is Roberts. Williams will keep it. He'll dart up the field, and he'll get about 8.
Great run there. You know, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. We saw 2 interceptions here. We got one great reception that was a callback due to a holding. But the ground game is still elite for this Washington offense.
It was a first-half interception that allowed Mount Pleasant to flip the momentum. The Panthers, a very, very good team this year, now 4-1 in Class 3A division, or District 4, excuse me. Washington trying to make sure Fairfield can't cash in with a road win on a couple of turnovers. Caden Griner with a big run will get another first down. He's across the 45 of Fairfield.
Big run there from Caden Griner. That type of momentum was needed, as well as, confusing that Trojan defense as they're probably still expecting Cale Williams to run the ball. They took their eyes off Caden Griner for 1 second, and that guy almost broke away for a touchdown.
Gain of 20 for the senior running back, Griner. Both of these teams running the ball extremely well as expected. Fairfield has one of the best rushing attacks in Class 3A. We've seen it tonight. Washington trying to respond after a quick score. Williams keeper. Williams trundles up the middle.
Fighting
and he's stacked up after about 4 or 5.
Fighting. Staying on his feet. Pushing through. That's what they need in this moment in the game.
39-yard line of Washington is where the Demons will set up shop now. 2nd and 6. Give Williams 4 on that last run.
Demons down 1, 30-29.
Clock ticking under 10 minutes in the final period. Been a thriller here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
Rivalry lost last week. 1-1 in district.
Williams hands it to Roberts. Roberts bounces to the outside. Roberts tries to slip out of a tackle. Hanging on to his ankles was Brady Weigel, but that will be a Washington first down.
Huge run from Liam Roberts there. Again, Washington Demons have the pieces. They have the guys that can actually take the pressure off Cale Williams for a couple plays to allow that Trojan defense to, have to really lock in and focus, because at any moment that could have been another touchdown there for Liam Roberts, or a couple plays ago for Caden Griner.
Griner is to the right of Williams in the shotgun. Roberts is going to come in motion again. They'll let him go to the far side. Quick screen out to Nick Stone. Stone held up. Gain of about 2.
Now we've seen that exact play a few times here, and it's worked for them. It's only gained positive yards. I don't think Nick Stone has, went back at all, but again, just keep switching it up. Keep that defense guessing.
Blaze Richardson is in. I talked about his use on special teams. He's lining up on that left side top of your screen for Washington with Williams in the shotgun. Ball on the 24, 2nd and 5. Out and motioning is Carson Brown. Williams, keeper, and he's going to get 3. Actually, no, he hits no gain on the play. Thought he got a couple when he bounced it to the outside. Instead, stacked up by this Trojan defense.
Hasn't had too many tackles for loss this game. Hasn't had too many, plays that didn't gain any type of yards. Rare play there from Cale Williams.
So it brings up 3rd and 5. Massive play coming here. Williams going empty. 3 receivers out to his right. Richardson and Griner are to his left. Would be a long field goal if they try it. Now 2 come in the backfield. Williams going to keep it. Williams trundling up the middle and pushing forward. Is he short? He's not. The chains will move for Washington. Nice play call for the Demons there, motioning the 2 men and giving Williams the blocking he needed to pick up the 5 yards.
Remember what I said. It's that ABBA. It's almost like, written jazz music. They go for this play, and then they're going to switch it up a little bit, and they're going to go right back to it, and you're not going to expect it if you're the Trojans when the other plays are working also. So you got to keep them guessing, and it's working for the Demons here.
Clayton Evans in at running back now with the bright orange cleats. Williams with 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. It's Blaze Richardson. He keeps it. Williams gets to the outside. 1 man to beat. He beats him. Touchdown, Washington. Williams, 3rd of the day.
7 minutes left to play. Williams puts a point on the board. We are in the closing clutch moments of this football game here. This shootout, we'd like to call.
Ran right through Brady Weigel.
The question here is, do you go for 2 to solidify something, or do you just go ahead with your 1 point, go up 36-30, and put the faith in your defense hands?
They're going to line up to go for 2. Not even the fake formation that they turn into a field goal. Instead, it's empty. 2 men come in motion again. It's a similar play to the one that Williams picked up the 3rd down on. He trundles forward again. He's stacked up. Fairfield makes the stop and keeps this at a 5-point game.
That's tough.
So nevertheless, Washington in the lead, but Fairfield will take the lead right back just with a touchdown. And it's worth noting the Trojans have gone for 2 every possession they've scored on. That would make it 37-35. Would still keep it within a field goal for Washington, but a big touchdown, Zeph, for the Demons to respond.
That right there is just a testament to the trust they have from Cale Williams. They came up short there, but it shows that they have faith and they trust their quarterback to make a good decision. It's worked a lot in this game, so it's like you don't expect it not to work. But now the defense really has to lock in, focus. They showed that they can figure out that T formation. Now the last half of this quarter goes to those guys.
Washington kicking it off to Fairfield.
Keeps it low there.
Kickoff does dribble out to the 34. Fairfield falls on it.
Top of the great attacking kickoff at the 40-yard line. Fairfield, 6:51 left, Cody.
If you're Washington, the guys you want to look out for goes by the name of Ethan Bisgard. He's been everywhere when the Trojans needed him. He's been picking up huge yards. So if I'm Washington, I'm looking for that T formation. I'm looking for the handoff to Bisgard. There is no mistakes that can be made here.
Third quarter, can they get back to it?
Handoff. No, a keeper for Richardson, and Cale Williams came over to make the tackle before he could turn the corner near that right sideline.
QB on QB. He's got to get the job done himself.
Cale Williams has made some really nice plays defensively tonight as well. 20 tackles for the year entering the game. He has a forced fumble and an interception as well. We saw that pick, of course. It was the one against Burlington at the beginning of that game. The ball kind of fell in his lap on a deflected pass by Rudy Wolf. Richardson, this time he'll hand it off. It's Weigel, again, stood up at the line of scrimmage.
Big stop there from the defense. They've been right back in this position. They've seen them on third down. The Trojans they've converted on a drive this game. Let's see if the Washington Demons can keep this pressure and keep their backs against the wall as they look to get a turnover here or a punt from the Trojans.
And aside from the interception, Washington has stopped Fairfield on its other two drives of this half. A timeout called this time by Fairfield, so 2 remaining for each coach, worth noting as well, with 5:37 remaining. We'll send it to a short break, come back with 3rd and 7 for the Trojans on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Your adventure starts here. Capper Auto Group Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will get you ready in style. Meet with our friendly and experienced team to find a vehicle that gets you on the road and rely on our service shop to keep you there. Capper Auto Group. See yourself the Capper experience. The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Back now, 3rd and 7 for Fairfield. Washington has stalled 2 Trojans drives. The other ended in a touchdown by Ethan Bisgard on a pick after a pick by Cale Williams. Can the Demons, stacking the box, stack up the Trojans? Richardson keeps it, throws it over the middle, it's picked off! And it's Cale Williams!
Huge!
And how about that? The quarterback who's thrown 2 tonight for Washington comes up with a huge play as Richardson tried to roll out and fired it into traffic.
Huge. We called that. We said they needed a takeaway. They needed it. And of course, it had to be Cale Williams. He had to ensure, because he just got the stop on Voss Richardson on his run there, and he picks up a pick right there. Picks up a pick, right?
So Washington is going to get the ball back, not only with the ability to run this clock but in great field position to potentially go up 2 scores. They have it at the 44 of Fairfield. Cale Williams will jog right back out on the field, snap it, he'll hand it off. Bouncing to the outside is Griner and hit after a gain of 2.
That was a great way to deflect that first hit. That was coming in very fast. And he light on his feet is the way he dodged it. Got him an extra maybe a yard or 2 there.
Zendrick Allison on the stop. He was back in, by the way. He was the one cramping earlier in the half for Fairfield. Haven't heard his name called too much on offense. That's a credit to Washington that has now stalled the Trojans' drives 3 times in this second half. The Demon defense coming up big. Can the offense cash in, put this team back up 2 scores? Williams fakes the quick pass, going to keep it up the middle. Still going is Williams. He somehow slid out of there, and it's going to pick up a Washington first down, and we have a Fairfield player down. Williams offering his assistance, getting back up on his feet under his own power is Christian Rasmussen. Offensive and defensive lineman for the Trojans, able to walk off, so that'll allow a brief timeout for Washington to jog over to Kelly Williams. Refs beckon them back out on the field. 4:39 to go. Ball on the Washington 33, the Fairfield 33, excuse me. 1st and 10 after the Williams pickup.
A touchdown seals this game.
Clock will run on the ref signal. Williams in the pistol. Caden Griner is behind him. 2 receivers stacked both to Williams' right and left. Williams takes the snap, hands it off to Griner, tries to slip out to the left side. Caden Griner finds a hole, and he's lassoed down after another first down pickup. Jackson Hollander made the touchdown saving tackle. The chains will move again for the Demons.
Huge pickup from Caden Griner there. Fighting for those extra yards. Man, that breakthrough in that middle, they found a sweet spot as they've continued to go back to that, and it's worked in their favor.
Washington on the doorstep, but in no hurry with under 4 minutes to play. Demons looking for a win on homecoming. It would be their 3rd of the season, their 3rd home win. And it would bring them to 1-1 in district play if they can pull it out. But Fairfield trying to make a stand after Cale Williams got the pick back for Washington. He gives it to Griner, who bounces off a couple of defenders, give him 3, maybe 4.
Again, I want to mention a score here from Washington seals this game. There isn't enough time on the clock that can allow the Trojans to get back in this, especially with this slow, methodical approach that they're going, killing that clock. We're almost at 3 minutes now.
Washington not afraid to sub to that point. Zeph trying to eat this play clock. It's down to 10. Grant Whistler just came into the game. He is setting up shop behind Cale Williams, barking out some signals, and I think he might have we got a whistle, stoppage. The play clock was close to 0, and I think Washington got the timeout off. Williams is jogging back to the sideline. And did they determine Williams, maybe his helmet got knocked off? He is on the sideline. Nick Stone is in at quarterback for this play. I didn't see Williams' helmet come off, but the refs told him he had to go to the sideline. So he'll watch as Nick Stone goes to work with 2nd and 7. Stone is 1 for 3 with 19 yards and a pick this season. He's in the shotgun. 2:34 to go. Play clock at 5. Stone, the keeper. Stone cuts up the middle. Nick Stone, touchdown! How about that for your one play at quarterback? And the first to him on the celebration is Cale Williams. The Demons 41-30 on the Nick Stone keeper.
This goes to the mind. Mind games. Maybe something didn't happen with Cale Williams, and he had to walk off a little bit to confuse that Trojan defense. Nick Stone coming up clutch to pretty much seal this game with just 2.5 minutes to go in the 4th. Mind games.
Extra point from Tappan is up and good. It is 42-30 with 2:24 to play. The Demons, an offensive masterclass on homecoming. So 2:24 and 2 timeouts still for the Trojans. They will have to move quickly. They've gotten some big runs, but the rushing attack certainly is not going to play into their favor given the time situation. And we'll see if Washington can make yet another stop. They have 3 in this first half. They forced Fairfield to punt twice, and a Cale Williams interception set up that Nick Stone touchdown. And how about it on homecoming if you're Washington? Demon football on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. Washington after this will go to Solon, who are coming off a 77-0 win over Fairfield. They'll be back here at home on October 17th against Fort Madison. We'll have that for you on the Southeast Iowa Video Network. Tappan squibs that one smartly, picked up by Fairfield. It was Owen Adam who goes down. Nice squib kick there as a man who dabbled in the other football in his time. I have to give credit. He hit that one right in the ground, got the bounce he was looking for. It was good by Braden Tappan. Credit to him for that.
You know, Washington's defense has looked really good to close out this game. This is going to be a very important drive. You got to know that the Trojans are going to play really fast. They want to get down that field. So I think the first play they're going to go for here has got to be a run, as this is the first play outside of the T formation.
They'll throw, dropping back to pass and firing short to Richardson.
He's met right in
hard after a gain of about 4.
First play out of the T formation.
Robertson. Oh, and actually Ethan Biscard on that catch, but he was slammed down. Blaine Reese, the enforcer for the Washington defense, will take this one down. Clock under 2 minutes. And you're right, Zeph. Out of the shotgun for the first time all game is Fairfield. Zandrick Allison is on the near side as Richardson looking for a deep pass, gets some pressure, rolls out to his left, fires left, into the arms of Washington! Clayton Evans! And that's going to seal it!
That is the ball game.
Clayton Evans gets the second takeaway. That's 2 apiece for both of these teams. Washington making up for the 2 giveaways they had in this game with a pair of picks. And the Demons now can march down the field.
You've got to wonder, if you're the Trojans, did you switch up your offense too late? Could this be something that has caused them to have the 4 losses that they currently have? Switching up their offense too late. And of course, if you're going to go in shotgun, they're going to anticipate you to throw the ball. You've been in this T formation all game. You've been keeping everyone on their feet and on their toes. And now you decide to go to something different.
Minute and 30 seconds, 7 seconds. Williams on the keeper. He's going to bounce it outside. He's not. He's going to lose. No, he's still alive and still going off another tackle. And it's going to end up picking up about 15 on a play where it looked like he was going to lose 5 or 6 on the run.
That's a bad guy right there. Cale Williams, another great drive, another great run.
It stops the clock. They're actually going to give him 9. I think he got knocked out of bounds and kept going, which is crazy. I thought he might have gained about 5 more, but it will stop the clock. But Williams, that outside zone, looked like he was just going to take a couple seconds off, get wrapped up, maybe force Fairfield to burn a timeout. Instead, Washington's 1 yard away from a first down. Williams low snap, gives it to Roberts. He cuts up field. Liam Roberts picks up the first for Washington. He's out across the 20 to the 19-yard line of the Trojans.
You know, if you're the Trojans, oh, there we go. They called it.
And a Fairfield player slow to get up, actually, is...
I thought that was a timeout call from the officials.
That's Calvin McLean, who we've mentioned a couple of times tonight. He's trying to make his way off under his own power. Takes the helmet off, so we hope McLean is okay. That'll allow Washington to huddle up. Minute 18 to go. And at this point, you could take a run down the clock strategy. You could take another touchdown. Your options are open if you're Washington. Only thing that would be any sort of disaster is a turnover. You'd like to think Coach Kelly Williams going to keep it on the ground here. Caden Griner is set up to the right of Williams. There are 4 receivers on the outside.
I think one more handoff here, and then we're going to kneel it out.
He's a little bit confused.
Williams trying to get the call from Kelly Williams. Still looking to the sideline. Play clock at 10. Now barking out some orders. A little bit of a confusion there for Washington. Play clock down to 3. Williams takes the snap, and he just takes a knee. And with 49 seconds to go, Fairfield will not use their timeouts, and Washington is going to get a resilient shootout win on homecoming night. Demons players on the bench already walking toward midfield. 30 seconds to go. Washington will have to take one more knee, actually, given the play clock. They technically don't. His play clock 2 seconds ahead of the game clock. And so Washington going to get a win. They will improve to 3-3 on the year, 1-1 in district play. For Fairfield, they will drop to 1-5 and 0-2 in the district. An offensive masterclass for the Demons is in the books. Washington gets the homecoming win, a win they wanted so desperately, and their 3rd win at home as well, defending the case once again. Zeph, quick thoughts from you before we send it to a break.
You know, you got to credit that Trojan offense. They really dominated the game out of that T formation, and it took until halftime for the Demons to actually figure out how to stop it. You saw them come out really strong coming into halftime, and then that 4th quarter drive.
Keep the family in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
We had a moment of silence there for Carson Ryan, who passed away over the weekend. Washington and Fairfield are going to meet after this game as well. Just a noble act of sportsmanship between both teams, and respected very well by everyone in the Washington community. And that goes to show once again, Zeph, just how much it means for this Demon team to get the win on homecoming. And a longtime member of this football program was Carson Ryan. So great thing to see to end the game, but a win once again for Washington to close out homecoming. They do it 42-30. We'll kick it to a short break. We'll have the final thoughts of the game breakdown from Zeph when we come back and end off the broadcast here. Washington getting the win of 42-30. We'll be back in a moment on the Southeast Iowa Video Network.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
My name is Levi Lyle. I have lived in Kielder my entire life, but I've been an organic farmer for about a decade. Truly, the reason to do business locally is because of the joy and fulfillment that comes in relationships. Coming to Professional Proteins is an opportunity to work with good people.
At Washington Lumber and Home Center, our extensive knowledge, great pricing, and a long list of local installation experts, you are guaranteed to get the service you deserve with the quality you should expect. Washington Lumber and Home Center, your local place for great results.
At Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction, we provide everything from design to complete installation of your kitchen cabinets. For small town service with competitive prices, Southeast Iowa Cabinets and Strabela Construction are here for you. At Wolf Floral, you'll find everything you need to spruce up your summer. Located on the southeast corner of the Washington Square, we've got you covered from small gift items to the finest floral arrangements around. Wolf Floral, unique by choice, not by chance.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
T1!
Beautiful closing moments here at homecoming game for the Washington Demons, honoring the loss of Carson Ryan, number 80. As you can see, all of the players and the seniors on the field embracing one another with love, with care, following an amazing victory by the Washington Demon football team. Quick little recap. We're going to go here. First quarter, 15-6, Washington led with the first touchdown of the game going to quarterback number 2, Cale Williams. His run set up a 2-point conversion, leading Washington 8-0 in that first quarter. Then for Fairfield, Brady Weigel, 6-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion, no good. Washington led 8-6. Moving on here to the second quarter. Washington, 26-yard catch and a run to Roberts, ending in a short gain, but a touchdown from Caden Griner, his first touchdown of the season. Washington ended the first quarter 15-6. Entering the second quarter for Fairfield, Tucker Robinson with a 38-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion this time is good. Washington then leads 15-13 with an unfortunate interception thrown by Cale Williams. Ethan Bisgard takes it home with a 50-yard run and another 2-point conversion. Fairfield now leads 22-15 in the second quarter. Then, 29-yard run from Liam Roberts into the touchdown. Washington tying the game up 22-22 to end off halftime. Entering the third quarter, Washington Demons gets the first stop of Fairfield's drive. Cale Williams' touchdown pass to Evans is called back for an unfortunate holding. Big gain there, but turned out unfortunate. Nonetheless, Cale Williams then 46-yard touchdown, 29-22 Washington. They get another stop. Opening the fourth quarter, first play, Cale Williams throws a pick. Ethan Bisgar goes to Washington on a 46-yard return, now leading 30-29. When we thought the game was over and we thought that the Washington Demons folded, they brought it right back. Cale Williams' run, touchdown, 35-30. Two-point conversion ends up being no good. Then, on defense, Cale Williams was not done yet as he picks off the ball on 3rd and 7. Fairfield 35-30, still in the lead, but to close out it all, Nick Stone comes in, subs in as the quarterback. With a little bit of confusion there, Cale Williams steps off, Nick Stone steps in, then runs it right down the middle, 42-30, as we wrap up the game with that score. Washington Demons, homecoming, 42-30 over the Fairfield Trojans.
Time to name now your Washington County Hospital and Clinics. Players of the game, Cody, Washington County Hospital and Clinics. More than you expect for healthcare.
Still on the field there, we have the football team as well as the families and the seniors from Washington High School honoring their fallen classmate. We're going to wrap things up here before we get to our Community First post-game show here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, sponsored by Washington County Hospital and Clinics. I'm Zeph Walker L. here, homecoming at the Washington Demons Case Field, 42-30. Washington Demons take home the victory.
Check out Community Profiles every Thursday, where our host, Greta Clemens, talks with people from around Washington about their stories and highlighting upcoming events. Make sure to tune in to Community Profiles every Thursday at 10 on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
Before we get to that Community First post-game show, let's talk about this game we just experienced. It was a shootout. We got a bit worried close to the end there. That T formation from the Trojans was a very unorthodox approach to football, as we saw the Washington Demons continuously allow them to run all over them. But they were not going without unanswered points, as again, going into halftime, we had a tied game. A little bit of confusion there in the end, but we still had a tied game. The Washington Demons were able to pick up the slack, pick up what went wrong in the first half, and coming into that third quarter, they were able to get the biggest stop of the game, which led to them taking the lead, then unfortunately turning it right over in the fourth quarter. So, what we're going to look at is just how the Washington Demons were able to switch up their entire approach and get everyone involved. Normally, we see a lot of ground game from Cale Williams Williams, running all over the floor and all over the ground, all over the field. But this game, he was able to get Liam Roberts involved. He was able to get Carson Brown involved. Nick Stone with that final touchdown to close out the game, to really put the cap and the cherry on top. That is what Washington football looks like. Their defense was able to get in gear, realize what they did wrong in the first half, and engage, which allowed the offense to really close it out and bring it home. Credit to the Trojans in that T offense, that T formation, but it was a little too late when they decided to get in the formation to throw the ball. Washington was expecting it with that Clayton Evans interception to end off the game and end all hope that the Trojans had of coming back. Again, I'm Zeph Walker-El here, signing off for the Community First Postgame Show, live on the Southeast Iowa Video Network at Case Field.
Number 1 team in Class 3A.